Let's go.
Let's rock.
Jimmy Juice Podcast, man.
Let's go.
Figgy Fig, best in the world, that's what he do, know what I'm talking about. Ryan Rockett, born and raised in the H-Town, Houston, Texas. Know what I'm saying? Let's go.
Let's go. In the jacuzzi, smoking threats. I got my feet up. Cut them haters off. I told them beat it. I don't need you. Spend 50 racks in cash, but it's all good. I got my visa. This rolling got them staring at me like the Mona Lisa. My ghetto, nine Keisha. I beat it like a creature. She always like my sneakers. These Jordan 5 pink aces. Let's go. I'm knocking them down, baby, back in the row. He really the one.
But they already know.
Turn on my chains, go put on the show.
Giving up gins, sipping my juice. Counting the beans, addicted to ends. I need to back in on whatever I do. We get it in on the daily. I get it rocking like this with the 80s. We really 10-toe down on the pavement. What's up? We about to see what they saying.
Rockin' Jim, vippin' juice. Rockin' Jim, vippin' juice. Rockin' Jim, vippin' juice. Rockin' Jim, vippin' juice. Let's go. Jim, vippin' juice. Rockin' Jim, vippin' juice. Rockin' Jim, vippin' juice. Rockin' Jim, vippin' juice. So let's go.
What do you have to say to everyone if we still consider the Astros cheaters?
I caught a plane out to Cleveland late last evening. You sliding around playing Eminem Yo Cardi on your lane?
Where the bitches at? Where the bitches at? It's supposed to be titties. Where the fucking titties and the bitches?
Oh, yeah, you caught that cough, didn't you? Damn.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we back at it. What up, Tony? Already coming through. We appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Yeah, that intro is fire, man. And that song always hypes me up, man. That song always hypes me up.
Yeah,
So,
shout out to the I think they still in the group. They call Major League Party. My dudes from Cleveland, Ohio.
okay.
I asked them to hook me up with the intro, hook us up with the intro, and they came through.
Yeah, that shit's hard, man. That shit's hard. It's really like I liked it the first time I listened to it, but the more I listen to it, I like it more, man. It really does fit the podcast.
It's like as soon as it start, it's kind of like
doom.
Let's go.
That bass is hard, man. So yeah, appreciate him for hooking us up like that. So yeah, welcome back to another exciting edition of the Gems and Juice podcast, y'all. We are back at it, back in full effect. Lot to talk about, breakdown, rundown, music, current events, sports, yada, yada, yada. You know the deal, man. You know it's Ryan Rockett and Figgy Fig back at it. So Figgy, how you been, man? How's everything going at the station? I ain't been there in a minute since the damn season ended. So what's going on in your world, man?
Everything going good, man. It's still rodeo season, man. Last Friday, this is why we did the podcast early last week, because I went to the 50 Cent concert on Friday.
Oh yeah, how was that, man?
It was really good, man. I was really impressed. I actually sat in the crowd too with the people.
Okay.
And they put on a good show, man. It was a really good show, well produced. And I was actually shocked too, because you know how the rodeo is, the rules, it's a family event. Man, he came out cussing, man.
Okay.
Everything and was nothing clean, man. He started the show with PIMP. So when he said a bitch can't get $1 out of me, I'm like, oh, he must ain't read that contract. But it was really good, man. A couple of surprises during the show. He brung the baby out.
Okay.
I was really shocked when I said, I'm like, who is that, the baby? I'm like, oh wait a minute, I thought he was canceled. He actually did good, man. It was good seeing the baby. He brung Flow Rider out.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that was completely random because I don't even think they got any type. I ain't think they had any type of connection. But yeah, he brung Flow Rider out. He did 2 songs, and then he brung Jeremiah out. And you know, Jeremiah.
Did he bring Fetty Wap too? Was he bringing out everybody who kind of washed up? All the falling off New York rappers.
Yeah. Nah, but it was good, man. And, it's funny you said that. Speaking of, I don't want to call him washed up, but yeah, Tony Yayo right there, man. He was his hype man.
That's nice.
I was thinking about this. I'm like, damn, I kind of respect that, man, because some people, you know, they might have a hit record or something like that, and they feel like they too good to be a hype man and all that stuff. I'm like, damn, I was kind of expecting Tony Yayo to he should have did at least So Seductive.
Mm-hmm.
But he was playing this hype man role, man. I respect it, man. So yeah, I know a lot of people probably look at that as like corny and all that stuff. Look, he probably living life good. He with his man's 50 Cent, and they just having a blast, man. So I respect that.
Yeah, me too, man. I think Memphis Bleak still comes out with Jay-Z. You know, at least he did the last years that he was doing. I think the B-Sides concert, I think Memphis Bleak was there. But yeah, I mean, it's you're never too big to be the hype man of one of the biggest rappers ever, man. So it's good that he can still play that role and not act like he, you know, Lloyd Banks ain't doing that. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, that's dope, man. That's dope that it was a good show. I'm not surprised, man. 50 Cent it usually seems like he puts on a good show, so that's dope. Dope that he did the rodeo too.
The one thing I was surprised that he performed this, but he performed the theme song for Power. I was shocked, man.
Wow.
I'm like that. I mean, nothing wrong with it, but I'm like, dog, you could have performed a couple more things off of Get Rich or Die Trying.
Look, he had to promote the show, man. He had to promote. Yeah, you had to get the plug in, all right.
But dog, he performed the whole song. I didn't even know it was the second and third verse. He had the second and third verse on there, man. He performed the whole song. He could at least got the hook he could at least got the hook in the first verse. I'm like, oh, there's more to it. So
he had to get the plug in, man. I understand, but yeah, it is funny he did the whole song.
Yeah,
you know, it's weird when you look up songs from like TV show intros and find out they're an actual whole song.
Yeah,
like I think the Family Matters song is like a real song that's like 3 minutes long.
Yeah,
you think it just ends after that first part and it keeps going, man.
Yeah, and even the Married with Children song.
Yeah, that's like a real song.
Yeah. That song might be in the damn TV show.
It's funny because when you hear the song on like the real song, you don't want to hear more of it after it's done. Like after it gets to the part that it goes to the other verses. I'm like, okay, I'm tired of this. I don't want to hear it no more.
It's funny. I felt like that when I was a kid because I used to watch the Wayans brothers, and their first intro was A Tribe Called Quest.
Yep.
And
Electric Relaxation.
Yeah, it wasn't until I got older where I'm like, oh, this is a real song. Yeah, I remember we was in high school and somebody was listening to that. And somebody like, man, this nigga going around listening to the Wayans brothers.
Oh, man,
I don't know why I thought that was so funny.
Man,
like every time I hear that song, I only think about the lady getting hit by the bus.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Actually, it's been long enough, and because I didn't know about Tribe Called Quest like that until later on too.
Yeah.
But now I've listened to that song enough that I don't really think of Wayans Brothers anymore when I hear it. But really? It took a long time to get there. It took a long time, man, because that was the first thing I would think of. That and that Dead Prez song that was on the intro of Chappelle's show. You know, when he came out at the beginning, I think it's hip hop. Yeah. That I didn't know all about Dead Prez back then. So that was always the Dave Chappelle song to me. Whenever that song came on Shuffle, I'm like, hey, the Chappelle song.
Yeah, I didn't know that song before. I have heard that song. I knew what that was, but I feel you. And this dude was like, this nigga going around listening to the Wayans Brothers theme song.
That's too funny, man. We clown each other over the dumbest shit too. That's the funniest part. Like anything gets clowned. That's too funny, man.
Yeah, no. One day I got clowned. I was actually on the block, like in front of the store, and we was just chilling. Dog, I don't know what made me get some Lay's chips, some plain Lay's chips. This dude like, man, this nigga eat some plain ass chips, man. The plain ass chips. I'm like, why is this dude going in on me like this, man? Pause.
It really could be anything, man.
Yeah, I was just eating a bag of chips. He's like, man, you got them plain ass chips.
Dog, that's too funny, man. It really is anything. It can't even eat chips.
Yeah. I'm like, damn, I should have got the flaming hots then. I would have been cooler then.
Yeah, you wasn't cool unless you was eating the flaming hots. Now it's hot Takis, I think, but back then it was flaming hot Cheetos. If you wasn't eating flaming hot Cheetos, you weren't cool, man. Even though they cost the same, it wasn't like it was a luxury chip. Oh man, it's too funny. So yeah, let's get into it, man. A lot to talk about and break down this week. First off, some RIPs. Of course, we got to give an RIP to the legend of all the nerds around him. Not even just nerds, man. I would say because Dragon Ball is bigger than, I think everybody's heard of Dragon Ball.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Everybody knows what Dragon Ball is. Everybody knows who Goku is or what he looks like. So
I ain't even consider that like anime though. I know it is, but like I feel like it was bigger than anime because look at anime.
It's like the level of like Scooby-Doo or Looney Tunes, or it's that big in America, where it's like one of the biggest cartoons.
Yeah.
So yeah, the creator of Dragon Ball, Akira Toriyama, passed away. This actually it happened at the beginning of March, but they just announced it yesterday. So yeah, very sad, man. Just because the dude, he is basically like Stan Lee dying, for Japan. He influenced so much, and he was everything he did, the stuff he worked on, inspired so many people to do their own thing. And the stuff we're seeing now in anime is stuff that was inspired by him. I still remember when I was a kid, man, my whole life was about Dragon Ball, dog. Man. When I remember waking up extra early to watch it on network TV when it was on there first. I remember getting online and talking in the message boards when we were waiting for new episodes, and I wanted to know what happened. And some people knew about the Japanese episodes, so I want to see what happened. And then the new episodes finally came out, and I had to rush home because it was crucial. There was no streaming, man. So if you missed it, you were just fucked. So you had to you had to wait a few months for the VHS to come out if you missed the new episodes. So you had to get home in time after school and watch it. So yeah, that was my whole childhood is Dragon Ball, man. So, and even my niece and nephews, they all like Dragon Ball and watch it too. So it's really just multi-generational, and yes, it's huge, man. So very sad that he passed away. It still is working on stuff too. So yeah, it's a day of mourning for everybody. Japanese, Black people, Mexicans, everybody is in mourning right now, man. So
yeah, I feel like my childhood was I guess it wasn't complete because I didn't grow up watching Dragon Ball Z because I ain't had cable.
Yeah.
So I could never watch. I only knew like my classmates for watching it and always talking about it. So I always felt like I was part of it. I never knew anything about Dragon Ball Z, but I used to watch Pokemon, but
yeah,
after that, man, that was the closest I got to Dragon Ball Z, but I respected it a lot, man.
Yeah, it was basically like just nonstop fighting, man. That was all we cared about. Was people was comparing the characters and power levels. Are you Team Goku or Team Vegeta? Who's stronger? It was some heated debates about that shit, man. So yeah, it was just a wild time, and that was a lot of my childhood. So very sad. He wasn't that old too. I think it was 68.
That wasn't that old.
Yeah, so very unfortunate, but yeah, definitely a legend. I'm sure when he first put pencil to paper, he would never have imagined that he would have this kind of outcry after his death. So yeah, just a real legend. R.I.P. Akira Toriyama. And yeah, man, hopefully we get some rap songs. Who do you think is gonna make the Dragon Ball? Somebody's gonna make this shit, man.
Yeah.
Do you think Drake gonna drop a Dragon Ball mention in the song? Do you? I think he thinks he's too cool for that.
Yeah, I was gonna say the dark horse, no pun intended. I was gonna say Meg.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Meg. She there was
She
a
the anime
Crunchyroll award. Crunchyroll, the streaming service for anime. She actually presented an award like in anime cosplay.
Oh, I ain't know that.
Yeah, she was there. So I think I mean, at the very least, she'll dress up like somebody from Dragon Ball and post it on IG. And she might even drop something in a song. But yeah, I could see her doing it for sure.
Yeah, that's the dark horse right there. Outside of that, I was gonna say Wang. Wang can figure out to rhyme it with something, but
maybe.
Yeah.
He's someone else I think is too cool to talk about anime. Plus, he's kind of older too, so I don't think he really grew up on it. But I don't know. It's gonna be one of the new kids, man. I'm sure, like Lil Uzi Vert or something. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
But we'll see. New music came out. We got to talk about some new music. We're trying to get back to our roots, I guess, and actually talk about some hip hop albums when they do come out. And now we have Signs of Life from TDE finally. You know, somebody who was not named, they're still alive, apparently. Somebody woke up Top Dog and reminded him he has a label with artists on it still. I guess he thought when Kendrick left and he only has SZA and that's it. But no, there are other artists on that label. Apparently he remembered, and now we have a new Schoolboy Q album called Blue Lips. I will start off by saying I hate this album art.
Yeah.
I really don't like it, man. The close-up of a man's lips and his gap teeth. Look, I guess album art really don't matter no more, but it matters to me because I'm looking at it when I select it on the Spotify, and I don't like it, okay? At least put I just wasn't feeling it. It could have been a woman's lips painted blue. It didn't have to be close up a Schoolboy Q.
Is this confirmed the man lips?
I mean, it has to be, man. Not pause.
Yeah,
but I don't want to over-examine it. But when I looked at it, it just I was like, okay, this is probably Schoolboy Q, a close-up of his face. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I was just curious because I figured he wouldn't be wearing no blue lipstick or whatever this is. So I just assumed it was a girl.
Niggas rock finger paint with no shame no more, man. Okay, they paint their nails and it's normal. Okay, I'm not surprised by if Schoolboy Q put on blue lipstick for some art. Okay, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Tony Scott said they're non-binary. Yeah, pretty much, man. Now, I've seen people really go hard try to defend the nail painting thing, and honestly, I don't really care what people do, but let's not act like everybody's doing this, man. All right.
Yeah, people. I feel like people acting like it's just like an ear piercing or some shit.
Yeah.
like back in the day, back in the 90s, people did look at you crazy if you had both ears pierced. I get that, but now, like, come on, don't act like it's just that.
Yeah, nah. I mean, everybody had their ear or nose pierced at that time because Tupac and Michael Jordan did.
Yeah, and then what's funny to me is people trying to say, "Oh, this is nail art." Like, come on, man, you ain't got to do all that. So you got to make it cool by saying nail art. Like, all right, man, you got it.
Yeah, I don't care what people do personally, but let's not act like everybody's doing this when celebrities come out and NBA players come out and do it. It's like people acting like that's just what's going on. You know, Not really, man. It's only people in certain circles doing that. And like I said, I don't care. But like I don't know nobody.
Crazy.
Huh?
That's it. Don't try to look at us crazy.
Exactly.
Because we kind of question it at least.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's strange. But I like I said, do what you do. I don't care, but don't pass it off like that's just kids. You know, it's just what's going on in the hood now. Like, I don't think it is, man. So anyway, back to the album. Now, Figgy, I'm gonna put you on the spot because you are the resident Schoolboy Q fan. You defended that last album that I didn't like, and you did hear some of this album. So I want to know, what are your thoughts of Schoolboy Q's first album in a pretty long time?
So I was actually, because I forgot, I don't even think we talked about this, but he released a single to this, Yearn 101, and I thought it was okay. But I didn't think he had an album coming out a week later or 2 weeks later. So I was a little surprised to see this album drop that quick, because it seemed like it wasn't that much promotion. But I didn't listen to the whole thing. I got to track 9, which I think it was Ohio, and that's with Freddie Gibbs. And I like that song a lot, by the way. But I felt like this was a different direction for him, man. I feel like he got a little artsy on here. Like there's a few songs with no drums, and a lot of I don't know if you call it saxophones or kind of jazz. It was a little bit jazzy for him. And so I thought it was cool so far. The only thing is I felt like it was all over the place, because it's one thing if you got a whole album full of jazz. It's just like, all right, that's what he's feeling. But it'll go from something slow to something, jazzy, to some trap shit, and then back to jazzy, and something slow, and something with no drums, back to trap shit. It seemed like it was all like you had to adjust the damn bass in the car a couple times, because it was just that all over the place. So yeah, I didn't have a problem with this album, but for some reason I wasn't feeling it at the moment. Like I think I wasn't in the right mood, which is kind of a bad sign, because you should be in a good album is a good album. You're gonna play it. You shouldn't be in a certain mood to play an album. But I thought it was cool so far. The standout song to me, or both of the standout songs, I like Thank God for Me. I thought that was a dope way to flip Chicken Head. And I'm surprised ain't nobody really catch that. But yeah, I like they flipped Chicken Head on this song. I like Ohio. I thought that song was cool. Freddie Gibbs killed it. And that's my only takeaways from this so far, man. I'm gonna listen to the rest of it probably this weekend, but for some reason I wasn't pressed to hear this whole album like that, man. But it sounds cool so far. It's just kind of all over the place.
Yeah, man, I listened to pretty much the whole album, and it doesn't really change much from what you said. It is kind of all over the place. It seems like he was being more experimental. I kind of feel like this is the filling the gap for Kendrick type album almost, where he wants to expand his horizons. Now that Kendrick is gone from TDE, he wants to be known as more than just like the Crip rapper, I guess. I don't know, but yeah, it was hard for me to catch a vibe to this album, man, because every song sounded so different and they really didn't blend together. I know sequencing is dead because of streaming, but it's still real to me, damn it. Okay.
Yeah, if you listening from front to back.
Yeah, I guess people figure that we don't listen to music like that anymore. But every time there's a new album, I listen to it from front to back if I can. And yeah, it's all over the place. Like you said, there are some songs with no bass, and there's some songs with nothing but bass. It was really hard for me to catch a vibe, man. I couldn't really vibe out to it. The flow, it was just all over the place too. He was rapping on some songs, but like there was some songs where he obviously didn't even try to catch the beat and was just kind of talking and like, I don't know, it was experimental,
spoken word type thing.
Yeah, it was hard for me to vibe to, man. Like I'm in the car with the headphone, I'm trying to absorb the album, and it's just difficult. The Chicken Head flip I didn't like because the beat sounded worse than the original Chicken Head version, man. Like, how you gonna remake a beat and make it worse? It sounded like the karaoke Kids Bop version of the Chicken Head beat. I didn't like how generic it sounded. At least do something creative with it if you're gonna use it again, or just use a regular beat, but don't use this Fisher Price ass remix version, man. I didn't like it. I like some songs. I like Back in Love, the Ohio song, which brings up another complaint I have. The beat switching on songs, man, got played out like a few tracks in, and it really never stopped. This album feels like a collection of mini songs put together, where you see a song is 3 minutes long, like, okay, it's gonna be a good, and you like the beat at first. The beat's gonna change 2 more times in the song. It happens a lot, man. And it kind of feels like this was like a 20 something, like what, how many songs are on here? 18. It's more like 30, but they smash them all together. And so it's just to 18. But it's hard when I'm listening to a song and there's a beat that you like, and then it changes and now it's slow, and it changes again. Now it picks up a little bit. It's hard to listen to, man. I don't know. Maybe you got to be in a certain mode or just a certain mood to listen to it and absorb it. But I just couldn't get to it, man. I couldn't really feel it. Tony Scott says a ringtone album. I wouldn't say it's a ringtone album, but just it's just difficult. It's difficult to listen to and really vibe to and nod your head to, because there's so much switching around, and it's kind of hard to, it's just difficult to listen to at first. Maybe it's something that'll age with time, but for now, I can't say I was feeling this album, man. I was looking forward to it because I hadn't heard from Schoolboy in a long time, but this one wasn't it, man. I have to say, it really wasn't it. It wasn't what I was looking for Schoolboy Q. Maybe he's trying to get a new audience, but I feel like if you're a Schoolboy Q fan, you're gonna put this in and be like, "What the fuck?" You're really gonna be confused, man. So, yeah, I don't know.
What was his last album that you liked? Because I was looking, because you didn't like the album Crash Talk, right?
I like Blank Face LP.
Okay.
I like, and that was 2016. Damn, that was a while ago, man.
Yeah, I remember that album because I think I moved down here in 2016, and I was playing that album. I actually went to his concert for my birthday.
Yeah.
So I remember that album. But Crash Talk, it's funny because I did like Crash Talk at the time, but I don't remember a lot of stuff from this album, man. I'm looking at the track list now. I remember 2 songs from this album. I don't even remember what this album sounded like. I thought you was talking about Blank Face. I thought Blank Face was the last.
No, I like Blank. I think Blank Face came out before he started the podcast, man. So we didn't even review it.
Yeah.
But Crash Talk was the one we reviewed, and I wasn't feeling it.
Yeah. Damn, man. So I don't know, man. And his last album, that last album was 2019. So
yeah. So he's been active really since, like, I don't know what Setbacks is. Was that that was his first album? He's been active since 2011.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with Setbacks.
I thought his first album was Habits and Contradictions. That was his first big album, at least.
Oh, okay.
So he's been active for 12 years and has 6 albums. 5 I really count.
Yeah. Sure. And I've been on board since Oxymoron. So that's when I started listening. I wasn't familiar with Habits and Contradictions. So
yeah. And I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on with TDE. I don't know if they're just not able to release music or they're creatively stumped. I don't know. When's the last time Ab Soul dropped an album? Let me look him up. What's the last thing he dropped? He dropped an album in 2022. I didn't even hear it. Okay, so at least he's active.
Yeah.
But before that, he hadn't dropped since 2016 either.
Yeah.
So
I think Isaiah Rashad is still with them, right?
Yeah, but I don't know how he's gonna come back, man.
I thought they was teasing something about him dropping. And because I was thinking, like, is people still checking for him at this point?
Do you think people are scared to feature with him? Like rap wise? I think our R&B, I think he could get some women on his tracks, but do you think rappers would be scared to collab with Isaiah Rashad?
if he still have the same type of content that he been having for years, I would say no. I would say no because I mean I ain't trying to like judge nobody, but he still look like a regular guy. You know what I mean, we knew what happened and all that stuff, but he still look like a regular rapper. He don't look no different from Joe Blow, whoever out there that's rapping too. Now, if he changes content and become more LGBTQ friendly and stuff like that, if he kind of pull a little Nas X, then I think it might be a little more difficult. But if he's still rapping about the same stuff, then I don't think it'd be a problem. I think he could still get like a Kendrick Lamar on there. I know they on the same team, but I still think he could get the Kendrick Lamars and whoever he wants. So I don't think that'd be an issue.
I'd be surprised if Kendrick collab with him or anybody from TDE because it hasn't happened in so long, man. Even when he was still at the label, he didn't collab with anybody later on. So
yeah,
that would shock me honestly. But that'll probably be some good press for him though, at least. So
no, this time this would probably be the best time for him to get a Kendrick feature like that.
True.
Right now, because if he was dropping a project or hell a single, I would like for him to get a little more steam. He gonna need a Kendrick feature so he could, I guess, keep going.
Who do you think is more toxic for rappers? And I'm toxic with quotes, of course. Toxic for rappers to collab with, Gunna or Isaiah Rashad?
More toxic. See, I think you could go either way because, like, I feel like if you really want a hit song, I feel like you would go the Gunna route because he's still making great music. But it's kind of like you want to be associated with this guy. But Isaiah Rashad, I mean, I feel like outside of the video and him, he kind of did. I guess he kind of admitted it or whatever it is. He still is the same rapper outside of that. So I guess I don't know. I feel like nobody would say anything if somebody did a song with Isaiah Rashad. I don't think nobody would bring up anything funny about that. But it would be more of a conversation if some street rapper did a song with Gunna. That would be more of a conversation than them doing a song with Isaiah Rashad because they're gonna bring up the snitching stuff. I don't think nobody bring up any gay allegations if somebody did a song with Isaiah Rashad.
I just asked because I remember when McConan came out and said he was gay. Keep in mind, he didn't even have a video or anything of him doing anything gay, to my knowledge. But Offset and the Migos, I think at least Offset said something because they had a song with McConan. It was a good song too. But basically he came out and said if he knew that they wouldn't have worked together, and he was saying some gay bashing stuff. And even Cardi got upset with him because she was like, the dudes who design your clothes are gay, but you can't do a song with a gay dude. So but yeah, they were basically trying to backtrack off that collab and saying they wouldn't have fucked with him if they knew he was gay. So just that mentality still exists with a lot of these street rappers, man. Especially since he has a video out, there's no plausible deniability about what he does. So it is silly, but I just say that because that's still a mentality. Now with Gunna, at least you can get a hit with Gunna still because he's still very popular. But if you collab with Gunna, that means you can't collab with Lil Durk or Lil Baby or a lot more people who are affiliated with the Young Thug camp, probably.
Yeah.
So that's an issue too.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to be the first one to collab with Gunna. It's got to happen at some point.
Yeah.
But they just have to know when you do that, you getting blackballed by like half the industry because they're going to say you siding with the snitch.
Yeah. No, that's tricky, but like I would say with the Isaiah Rashad thing, I think, and not to make it weird, but I think it's a big difference if he's still the same person. He looks the same as he was before. Like I said, if he make a little Nas X turn where he, change his whole image, or a Sam Smith turn, then I think that make a difference. I think then I agree with you 100%. I think a lot of rappers just don't want to be associated with that. But and that's unfortunate. But if Isaiah Rashad is still the hipster looking guy that, just rap about the same stuff he been rapping about before, I don't think people will have a problem with it.
All right, we'll see. We'll see. I just want to know which one gets the street rapper collab first, man. I do think it would probably be Isaiah Rashad, but I don't know. Like I said, somebody's gonna still hot. Somebody's got to collab with him at some point, man.
And man, look, man, I'm not a street guy, so let me make that clear. But at some point, man, we gotta just call it how it is, man. Like this type of stuff is silly. Unless you have personal relationships where your friend or your family member is Young Thug or somebody in there, and Gunna actually had a I guess a connection to why that person's in jail, then I understand why you don't want to do a song with them. But if it's somebody from the West Coast that's a rapper and he just don't want to do a song because of some papers that came out or some shit, it's just like, dog, you rather not have a hit song or work with somebody just musically because of that? Man, it's like, come on, man.
Street code, man. All right, street code. Even though these rappers ain't street dudes half the time, you gotta abide by the street code for some reason, man.
At some point, man, like me, even like I said, I'm not a street dude, but at some point, it's like business is business. Like, I don't care what you do on your off time. And that's somebody that's, if somebody is, part of the LGBTQ community, look, I don't care what you do and all that stuff. Like, if we doing business, we doing business. Like, I ain't about to let that affect my money or opportunity. So it's just, I don't know, it's just kind of, it gets silly after a while, man.
Yeah, but that's the issue with these rappers still trying to portray that lifestyle, man. If you acting like you like that in real life, then you got to abide by those real life rules. If y'all just admitted y'all was just entertainers and actors, then it wouldn't matter who you collab with. But since you portray yourself and act like you the street dude outside of rap, now you got to abide by them rules and just keep the code up no matter what. So, yeah, it is what it is, man. It is silly. Drunk says, real talk, Gunna is top 3 hottest mainstream rappers out. Somebody gonna collab. Yeah, but like I said, there's a cost to that, man. If you're risking getting blackballed from half the industry, it may be more than half at this point, because, Drake is still in the Young Thug camp. So who's gonna take that risk, man? Yeah, you get a hot song, but it comes at the risk of future collabs with other people that have beef with him.
Yeah, and I think that's what it comes down to. I don't think it's necessarily the snitch part, but I think they feel like they have to be more loyal towards Young Thug, because let's say, and this is a Hail Mary, if Young Thug get out of jail, then he gonna remember that he know you went behind his back and did a song with the guy that's keeping him there at that moment and all that stuff. So that's gonna throw some things off. So I don't think it's necessarily that he got paperwork on him, but I think it's just a relationship with Young Thug that they, being more loyal to. But like I said, if it's somebody that have no relationship with either, and you sitting there bringing up his paperwork, or he a rat and all, like, dog, go get you a hit. Like, go do that damn song with him and keep it moving, man. Why are you trying to act like you being loyal to Young Thug, who probably don't even know you? Mm-hmm. Like, that's the part that get me right there.
Yeah, I think things will slow down if Young Thug does get to come home. If he doesn't get sent to prison for a crazy long sentence. But if he does, then it's still the block is still gonna be hot for Gunna, man. They gonna still put that on him. So it all depends on if Young Thug can come home or not.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see with that.
Yeah, and I think too, like I think Young Thug got to say something.
Yeah,
because that's the thing. He's not really saying anything, and I don't know if he said something behind closed doors.
Did you see that leaked call with the Mariah the scientist, his girlfriend, or at
Yeah,
least
I
one
did.
of them?
Yeah.
You have anything? Anything to say about it?
Do you think it's a conspiracy with all that stuff? Because it seems like a lot of stuff is getting leaked with that whole case.
I mean, maybe, but I don't understand what the point of leaking that was. Like, it's
Yeah.
not like anything about the case was said. It was just personal stuff between them and her acting like, I don't know. It was just a strange call.
I'm just wondering, like, how did that even get out there?
CO took a check. Somebody, TMZ or somebody, wanted something of Young Thug, and they said, "Hey, give me a rack, and it's yours." So, yeah. Drunk said Kodak did a song with 6ix9ine for $1 million, fresh off snitching. He said he don't give a F. Number one, I doubt that Kodak got $1 million for a feature. Whatever number he said, he was lying. Number two, Kodak Black is a crackhead. Okay, I hate to put that on him, but he is, man. So anything he does is just not going to be the same as what a normal rapper would do in general.
Yeah, and I thought it was a little weird that he did the song, agreed to do the song, and he's sitting there dissing 6ix9ine in the song.
Yeah,
like, man. Like, what's the purpose, man?
Tony Scott said, people that spend money just want to party and get high. They don't care if you're a real street guy. And honestly, man, the street code is a myth, period. Okay. It's been proven time and time again that all these guys snitch if they get a chance for the most part. There's no rules really. I mean, they all, and they do differ depending on who you like. We see the same thing with Gunna. And so, yeah, it's kind of a myth in the first place, man. There's a lot of people in the game that swear they stood solid, and then you look and you see that there's some questionable paperwork. So
yeah, it's
all kind of a myth to begin with.
Yeah, people were saying that about 50 Cent.
Yep.
And Irv Gotti was screaming from the top of his lungs, like, look, this is the paperwork. And nobody gave a damn, man. So
yeah, that people forget how crazy that Murder Inc. and G Unit, that was kind of another Gunna type thing where Ja Rule was still hot, but nobody could collab with him because of how 50 Cent was he was even hotter at that point. So even though you could get a Ja Rule feature, you didn't want to risk being put in that camp. So it kind of definitely derailed his career.
Yeah, and that whole thing, especially with 50 Cent, that divided New York up.
Yeah.
So it's like, whoever did the collab with Ja Rule and them, they on that side now. And ain't nobody trying to go against 50 Cent during that time.
No, hell no, man. That was suicide at that point.
Yeah.
Drunk said, "Old girl Mariah was like, Daddy, do you still love me, bro? About to do 50 years. Of course he do." Yeah, I mean, the funniest part was that Young Thug looked completely disinterested in the conversation, man. Like he looked like he wanted to go back. He really didn't want to talk to her, man. He looked like he was just tired. So yeah, that whole thing was funny though. Yeah. Snoop said, Drunk said, Snoop the original rapping snitch, and look at him now, still getting $60K a verse. Do people still pay for Snoop Dogg verses, man? I don't know. Somebody probably does, but yeah. There's a lot of cases in hip hop of people supposedly snitching. I saw Willie D had Lil Troy on the podcast. I guess he does his. I guess the Ghetto Boys podcast is officially over, and he has his own podcast. And he had Lil Troy. Lil Troy accused Scarface of snitching too. So yeah, a lot of accused and snitching and paperwork and whatnot. And this, I don't really care, man. Honestly.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit at this point? You're talking about shit that happened like 30 years ago, man. Yeah. I don't really care. Oh yeah, other new release. I am a fan of Mike. He dropped a new project with Tony Seltzer, the producer, called Pinball. I like it, man. I think it's a good project. The beats are more not crazy. I'll say. I think it's if people call it scaring the hose music, this is like the least scaring the hose type thing Mike will put out, man. The beats aren't just like in like crazy samples with no bass. There's some good, more mainstream production behind it, but it still sounds fresh and good, man. So if somebody was trying to get into Mike, I'll probably point them to this album first, just
Okay.
to. So I recommend checking it out if you haven't heard Mike or kind of want to listen to something different, man. But I enjoyed it. So I think that about does it for new releases. Let's get into some sports real quick, man. I haven't been keeping tabs on NFL free agency or anything, to be honest. What is the word on Derrick Henry, man? Do the Texans fans, do we want him or not? What's the temperature looking like on Derrick Henry?
I feel like most fans are leaning towards Saquon Barkley over Derrick Henry right now. But I do think he's probably third on the list, maybe. I think and I still think it's a high possibility that he could come to the Houston Texans, but I think right now people looking at Saquon Barkley and then Josh Jacobs, who is playing for the Raiders. So yeah, man, it'd be kind of wild seeing the Texans killer playing in the Texans uniform if that happened. But yeah, I don't know how much he got left, man, because he had a down year last year and it was still okay. It was still better than what the Texans had at that position, but it'd be interesting, man.
Yeah, I just get nervous, man, because I feel like we just never have luck with bringing in some big name free agents to the team. They always seem like they suck when they get here, man. I've still got Ed Reed on my mind. I know he's a safety, not a running back, but that just stuff like that just sticks with me, man. I feel like we've never had a good history. To be fair, this is a new regime, new Texans, new face, new coach, new leader. Everything is new. So
Yeah.
maybe they'd be more better used in this system than they were in the past, but we just haven't had luck with bringing in some big name free agents in the past, man. So I just don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, and when it comes to Derrick Henry and Trump bring up a good point, the mileage is crazy. Yeah, I want to say like 31 or something, and he been used a lot. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think the thing is the Texans clearly need a running back, but I think they need to get like two of them, man. They need to sign like two running backs and draft one. I think some of the best teams you see, man, they have a couple running backs. So I wouldn't look at just signing Derrick Henry and be like, all right, we good. I think they need to draft somebody. I think they probably need to sign like a Singletary again or something like that and just alternate. But in a perfect world, if it was my choice, I'd go after Saquon Barkley, man. I think he still got something in the tank.
Yeah, I'm down for whoever can contribute, man. But I just, like I said, I'm just nervous that people will get here and not try.
Yeah.
Trunk says, "You come on, you thought you was getting Pro Bowl Ed Reed in Houston. No, I didn't think he would be the best version of Ed Reed, but I thought he would try, man. Okay, he clearly did not give a fuck when he got to Houston.
He was hurt, man. He had an injury.
It was not, nah, man. I expected him to try. I didn't think we were going to get the best version of him, but I thought he would at least try. It really didn't seem like he did, man.
Yeah.
Tony Scott said the Texans could sneak and win a Super Bowl this year. Yeah, let's pump the brakes, man. Let's pump the brakes, man. Let's pump the brakes. Let's win a division and go from there. But yeah, I don't know. Well, anything is possible, but yeah, we'll see. We always say that, but it really seems we always think that the NFL has so much parity, but it seems like it's always the same teams, and especially the Chiefs,
Yeah,
are just always in it, man.
The past couple years, I feel like it's been the same teams.
Yeah,
so, like, or at least on the AFC side, it's always the Chiefs. I think the Cincinnati Bengals jumped in there Joe Burrow's second season, and then you had the Bills. and the Ravens. It seems like it's always those 4 teams. No matter how you look at it, it's always those 4 teams, man.
And it's really troubling because I feel like this is the worst Chiefs team that's won a Super Bowl so far, man.
Mhm.
So really, if there's ass and can still win it, then what does it say for the rest of the AFC, man? I don't know.
Yeah,
But we'll see.
we're gonna have to count on the Cincinnati Bengals to take out the Chiefs. It seems like that's the only team that could.
Yeah, I mean they've done it once, so yeah, we'll have to see. Drunk says, if I'm y'all though, I stick to the draft. Y'all building something special and it's gonna mature at the same time. Yeah, but I can feel the fan base getting a little trigger happy, man. All right. I feel and to be fair, look, we got CJ on the rookie contract. Now is the time to spend money. If you're gonna get free agents that cost a lot, now is the time to do it, I feel probably. So I kind of you want to build, but last season, I think ended the slow rebuild type talk, man. Now we got to focus on winning.
Now. Yeah,
exactly. So I think the timetable for the fans have sped up a little bit, and we want to see more action taken to win now while we still have money to spend on these things. So we'll see.
Yeah, I agree. I think we could get some in the draft, but I think that's where you get some of the other pieces. Some of the because when you build through the draft, you ain't paying them that much. So I think that's where you get some of the other positions like corner and linebacker and stuff like that. But yeah, man, I think the time is now. You gotta I don't want to I say don't spend stupid money on stupid people, because you got some of them people out there that's like ready to get like the biggest contract, and it's like, nah, I would be scared to do some of these contracts, but I feel like running back like a Saquon and stuff like that, you got to jump on that, man, because they need a running back. They needed that last year.
Yeah. And the Derrick Henry, the way he played against the Texans, the way they shut him down kind of worried me too. I'll probably take Saquon more, but I didn't see Saquon play a lot last year. But I don't know, man. Well, they definitely need to address the running back situation, of course, but I don't know. The free agent thing kind of scares me, but we'll see what they decide to do. Yeah. Tony Scott said, "What running backs do you like in the draft?" Honestly, man, I'll be honest, I have no idea. I got to chop it up with my boy John Harris, the draft expert, because he's the one who usually talks. I mean, he's been right on a lot of picks too, man. He's the one who really he's a draft genius. All right, and whatever he says, I believe. So I got to see what he says about the running backs and who he thinks is good. And co-sign that.
I feel like it's not a deep running back class either. Like I heard that a couple times where it's like the ones that are at top last year or next year, they probably would be like the 8th best running back. So it's a dead running back class, but I think the free agency is bigger than ever. So I would sign a free agent and maybe get a running back in the later round or something like that. But John Harris, he actually I don't want to say he talked me into CJ Stroud, but he was the only one that was positive about CJ Stroud before the draft. Because it seemed like everybody else, and we work at the radio station, so everybody else they was pissed off that they won that last game, so they missed out on Bryce Young. And it's like, oh no, trade the pick, trade back and get more picks. People wasn't sold on CJ Stroud, man. I didn't understand why. Maybe it's because that whole Ohio State thing. I think Drunk was one of them too.
Yeah, definitely.
Ohio State quarterbacks were awful, so don't do it. But he was the only one that was like, man, I feel like CJ and Bryce Young is right there next to each other. So
yeah, there's only a handful of people who really believed in CJ from the start, man. Let's be real. Like, we all thought he had the potential to be good, but we wanted Bryce more as a fan base in general. Even the experts and all the draft experts who, they didn't have CJ rated that high. Nobody thought he would be what he is now, except like a handful of people like John Harris, man. I don't think even he thought he would be this good right out the gate.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. To me, because a lot of like I said, a lot of people was pissed when you get the number 1 overall pick. But I'm like, man, I'm fine with CJ. I'm just as yeah, I wanted Bryce, but I ain't look at it like, man, let's trade this pick because Bryce ain't gonna be there, or let's trade up. I was fine with CJ, man. I ain't think that was a consolation prize. But even me, man, I ain't think he was gonna be this good. I did not think that. I probably would have bet a bunch of money on that.
Drunk also said I wanted y'all to snatch up Mike Evans, but Tampa Bay re-signed him. Yeah, I saw that, man. Yeah, I would like to see him in Houston, but yeah, Tampa Bay is a good team too, so I can't blame him for re-upping. But yeah, we'll see what they do. He said, if somebody bring me up, bringing down on CJ Stroud again, I'm gonna explode like a female with 40 bodies who just got baptized. I'm a new person. Look, we forgive, but we don't forget. All right, we welcome you to the bandwagon with open arms. But just once in a while, we're gonna poke fun and say, remember, Drunk, you was the one who. Anytime you say any kind of draft analysis on who you think the Texans should pick, I'm gonna remind you that you said CJ Stroud was going to be ass.
That's like Mel Kiper saying if Jimmy Clausen don't be a Hall of Fame quarterback, I'm gonna retire. Remember that? They bring that up every single year, man. Every single year they bring that up.
And John McClain said to be fair, that the Deshaun Watson stuff didn't get as bad, but basically said there was no chance in hell that Deshaun Watson was going to leave the Texans. And then so a lot of people. If I were in that field, man, if I had the clout, I would never say something that people could easily pull receipts on because that would just kill me. I don't know how people keep doing their job like everything's normal. People bring up, hey, you said you would quit if so and so wasn't a Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
like, what? It makes you feel like a fraud because I just lied about that shit for no reason.
Yeah, but Drunk, you ain't the only one, man. There was a lot of people at this station that was like, they felt like Bryce was going to be better. And he could still be better. I don't know, but like we don't, and that's the one thing I appreciate too. We don't keep bringing it. There's some people that keep bringing it up, like, oh, you didn't want CJ. Remember, it's just like, all right, we all admit we was wrong, and we're happy about that. Like, it wasn't like we was rooting against CJ. Like everybody was wrong about this one. So
I don't care about people being wrong. My issue is that when people don't want to admit they were wrong. Because you see how people are trying to rewrite history. Some of the experts who were wrong about CJ and wrong about Bryce, now they're rewriting history to, well, Bryce just went to a way worse situation and the Texans were way better off. Nah, man, none of y'all had nothing ranked high for the Texans or that class or anybody they brought in. Y'all did not rate them at all. Okay. Yeah. Nobody thought the Texans situation was better than the Panthers during the draft.
Yeah, and the last thing I seen somebody tweet and said, Houston, they have a Hall of Fame tackle. I'm like, Hall of Fame tackle? They got a Hall of Fame tackle. They had weapons for CJ and all this other stuff. I'm like, where was that at during where was that at? Like, I never heard that. I'm like, how we know Laramie Tunsil is a Hall of Fame tackle?
Just say you were wrong, okay? That's all you got to do. We can move forward. It's like when in a relationship when somebody fuck up but don't want to say they sorry and keep making excuses. Just say you sorry, you fucked up, and move on, man.
But I wouldn't move on from there. You didn't do this.
Yeah, that's. I didn't want to say the women, but that's how they be, man. They don't want to apologize for shit. It's like, well, I only said that because I only did that because nah, girl. Just say you sorry, all right? We gotta say we're sorry every time we say something that you even remotely think could be negative or whatever. Just say you sorry. But nah, they don't want to do that shit, man. Yeah. It's always somebody else's fault. So, that's the only thing that's annoying. People acting like trying to rewrite the history, man. Nah, we were all there. We know what y'all said at the time. It wasn't that long ago.
Did you see the people that had that S2 test or whatever that shit is?
Yeah.
And I guess apparently CJ scored really low at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And these fools waited to freaking January to bring the test back out to say, "Oh, that was that his test was a mistake." So he really didn't score low. They waited to I think December or January to bring it up. Like, oh, his test scores, that was a misread or whatever phrase they use. It's like, come on now. Like that test y'all was talking about was BS.
Conspiracy theory. What if somebody with the Texans knew that CJ was better and said, "Hey, we need to get him. And we're not going to get the number 1 pick probably. Let's go ahead and float this out there and misreport his S2 score."
That would be smart, man.
Is it possible, man? Are we putting our conspiracy theory hat on now?
That would be smart. And honestly, I think
is Casario and could he do that? Is that within his power?
Nah, I don't honestly, man, I think I could see another team doing that because I think Bryce Young was gonna go no matter number 1, no matter what. But I could see somebody like the Colts or the Raiders, or somebody that really needed a quarterback, trying to, I guess, drop his stock so he could, so the Texans could pass up on him or something like that. It's funny. I always think about stuff like that, man. Nobody really bring it up. But I'm like, man, like whenever you hear like bad reports, like, oh, this quarterback didn't do well in the interview, or it's like, man, are these teams trying to do this on purpose so they could drop, so they could have a chance to get them? Because if everybody was just raving about this player, then a team ahead of them can, jump on board and grab them. But I feel like a lot of teams probably throw all these false stuff out there to try to drop their stock so they could get them.
Yeah, no, there's definitely some behind the scenes type stuff going on, man. And certain things that leak right before, of course, Laramie Tunsil, gas mask, stuff that just conveniently leaks right before the draft. There's definitely forces at work trying to downplay people, put out misinformation. It's a dirty game, man. But I mean, there's so much money invested in football that you're not really surprised. Every team wants to win. Every team wants to have a better team going into the season. So they're going to play dirty, man. They're going to do whatever they can do to get somebody's stock to go higher or lower and do what they have to do. So,
yeah.
Drunk said, I've listened to how CJ and Tank met during the combine, and Tank told CJ to come get him home story so many times. Straight fairy tale. Yeah, I always thought that story was kind of weird, man. How CJ comes to the organization with no clout at all, not having played a single game, tells management, go get Tank Dell, and they just do it. I would figure they probably wanted him, but I just don't feel like he had the clout to actually make that happen on his own.
Yeah,
but
I think what it was, because I think it was 2 different receivers there at that time. And this, I want to say this was like 3rd or 4th round. I want to say he got drafted, but I felt like they did hit up CJ like, hey, which receiver do you see yourself playing with more? This person, that person? And he probably just to kind of get his opinion. And so that's who they probably went with, because honestly, man, I mean, if I had a quarterback, man, I would probably see which receiver he liked more, kind of pick his brain, because he is the one that got to play with him. But yeah, I could see it happening like that, where you say, hey, would you rather play with this one or this one? Which one would you prefer?
Yeah.
But they had to spice it up and say, oh,
yeah. I don't think he walked in the office with the Vince McMahon strut and said, hey, go get that man Tank. And they said, yes, sir.
You think he's in the draft? He was in the draft room, like, yeah.
He was on the phone like Nick Casario.
As a rookie.
Yeah, man. No, that's funny to imagine, but I don't know if it happened like that. But hey, you got to spice the stories up, so I get it, man.
Yeah.
Drunk said, hey, how do y'all feel about Lovie Smith in hindsight with him winning the last game of the season before Stroud? we're gonna build a statue of him in Houston. Okay, he is as legendary as anybody who's ever played Houston sports. We're gonna put him right next to Akeem. Okay, because that was the best thing that's happened to the franchise in a long time, with him winning that last game and putting us in a position to get CJ Stroud instead of Bryce Young. So we salute that man. Hope he's doing well wherever he is. But yes, this is all because of Lovey. So yeah, put him in the Raptors, man. We're all fans of Lovey Smith right now. So that's how we feel. All right. That's enough about sports, man. It's the off season. The NBA is going on, but I don't really care about all that shit. I know the Celtics and the Nuggets had a good game last night. I didn't watch it. I heard it was really good, but I don't really give a shit, man. We'll wait till the playoffs start. Yeah. Let's get into some topics, man. Some topics of stuff that's going on this week. You told me about the Drea. The Drea and Jalen Green pregnancy announcement. I guess it's official now.
Yeah.
She posted the pictures, the vanity pictures of pregnant belly. What do you think about this, man? What do you think about, is Jalen Green just doomed now, or do you think they're gonna make it work? What's going on?
I think he's doomed. As far as the relationship, I don't know if this is gonna last a long time, man. Because he ain't the first person that got with Instagram model or whoever, like somebody similar to her, and it didn't last long. I think the last person I can remember is PJ Washington, who played for the Hornets, and this the one that got with Brittany Renner and had the baby.
Yeah.
Remember the alleged child support that was $200,000 a month or something crazy, which I think she came out and said that ain't true. So yeah, and they weren't even together that long. I think I want to say 2 months after the baby they broke up. So yeah, I don't know. I just think right now he's gonna be the butt of all jokes, man. I feel like in that circle, that Hollywood circle, I just think people gonna look at him as the butt of the joke. Like, dang, she got you, dog. Dang, look at this sucker. Have you ever seen somebody that was dating somebody and it's just like, oh, like he the one got her pregnant. Oh man, like so many people that been with her. It's just like, how can you walk in the room now, man?
Russell Wilson, Sierra.
Yeah.
At least she still look good though, man.
And honestly, man, like I don't know who all she been with, but we could probably name like the 5 people she been with in the industry. And I would take that over, what Drea Michelle got going on. She was with a lot of athletes, man, a lot of people. And it's insane. So I don't know, man. Salute to him, man. I don't want to discredit somebody being pregnant and all that stuff. Having a baby is a good thing, but I don't know. I don't know how this gonna last, man. He only 22.
Yeah, man. There's a rumor. I mean, between the rumors of him getting benched and all this going on, man, I'm sure his mental just, I don't know. You got to work through it. Yeah. Dragon Spitfire on X. He's HRW on Twitch, man. He said Twitch is acting janky, but we sound like stereo on X. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Twitch. I got to check it out, the VOD. But yeah, and Twitch in general just been fucking up lately, man. I know they fired a bunch of people on their staff recently, and it's just been, I don't know, kind of weird ever since. But we'll check it out and see. Drunk, come on, man. No homo. But Jalen Green is top 5 sexiest NBA dudes, and he chose an old thought. Professional athletes are dumb as rocks. Okay, man, I got to question you on this one, all right? I know you said no homo or pause, but you ain't have to say sexiest. You could have said handsome. You could have said best looking. I would have still raised an eyebrow, but I would have understood. You had to say sexiest, man. Hey, I don't judge, but I'm just saying, man, you had to put it like that, dog. But honestly, man, I've said it before.
We talked about this last week about these dudes going at
Yeah.
older chicks.
And I said it before talking about Jalen Green, man. I think the only reason he has the fan base he does, like the crazy fan base, is because of how he looks, man. I think that at least has something to do with it. Like, nobody wants a pretty boy to fail.
Yeah.
But if you look like a shy SGA off of the Thunder, I don't think he'd have this kind of any play like he does now. The way Jalen Green does now, I don't think he would have this rabid fan base on him. I'm just saying.
Yeah. But man.
So.
Yeah, but anyway, on the other part of this whole Drea pregnancy, she getting roasted, man. She actually posted this post, and it was a International Women's Day post, and it was revealing a pregnancy. So that was kind of the rollout, and of course she cut her comments off on it on Instagram. But yeah, everywhere else they tearing her up, man, calling her a pedophile and what's wrong with her and all this other stuff. And there was somebody that brung up Cher, who was dating, I want to say, a 35-year-old, and Cher is 70. And they tried to say, oh, y'all wasn't mad at Cher, so why y'all mad at this right now? First of all, Cher can't have any kids. Second of all, that man, that 35-year-old is benefiting off of dating Cher. She's the one with the money or fame and all that stuff. So yeah, man, it's a little different with Drea because the whole, hunting for these NBA athletes or athletes, period, trying to catch a bag and all that stuff. I think it's a little different with this. So I think that's why a lot of people have issue with it.
Okay, actually, he's 38 years old. I just looked it up.
Oh, 38.
A 38-year-old. So he's older than me.
Damn.
Older than both of us.
Yeah.
And I'm mad at it, man. Okay, that's a grown-ass man, all right? You can't say that's creepy. It would be different if he was like 21, 20, like Jalen Green's age. That would be very creepy. Yeah. But that's a grown-ass man making a decision. He's making a business decision, all right? I don't knock him for that, all right? That dude's basically washed himself.
And when do you call a 38-year-old a kid? Like, not like, even though 18 and over is grown, but you still call them like a kid, like especially in the NBA and NFL, all that stuff. Somebody that's like 22, oh yeah, he's a bright young kid and all that other stuff. Because shoot, they could still be in college during that time. But when do you call somebody a 35 or 38-year-old like, oh, that's a messing with that kid?
Like that. When it comes to the age debate, relationship topic, no matter what age you are, according to Twitter and some people on Twitter, no matter what age you are, if the age gap is if it's significant, the younger person is always getting groomed and the older person is groomer. It don't matter if it's a 45-year-old man and a 32-year-old woman. The 45-year-old man is a groomer. Okay. That's how they see it. They see it as him preying on a young, innocent child. A 32-year-old child is getting preyed on by a 45-year-old man. That's how they see it, man. So,
yeah,
you can't correct this kind of thinking, man. You just gotta ignore it and move on. Don't even engage because these people can't be reasoned with. That's just insane.
Yeah, because honestly, like we don't even look at, because we see a lot of billionaire on. Hell, I want to say, who was it? No, not Bill Belichick. It was somebody else that was dating a young person, and I think they was in their 30s, and the person was like in their 60s. Nobody really blinked the eye with that. We just kind of like, all right, cool. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's weird. Drunk said, Drunk, we talking about
Cher's boyfriend. Yeah, Cher's boyfriend is 38. His name is Alexander Edwards.
Yeah. Did you see this interview with Cher and him? I guess they was at a red carpet event or something like that.
Mm-mm.
And the person was interviewing them, and you could tell the person that was interviewing them had no idea who Cher was.
Wow.
This dude said, "Hey, state your name and tell me tell me where you from." I gotta find it now. So he had Cher like, "Hey, I'm Cher. I'm from Los Angeles."
So wait,
like, who the fuck?
why would you be on a red carpet asking people on the red carpet to say like you doing a street interview? Even if you didn't know who Cher was, you have to figure she was somebody important. Why are you gonna make somebody 77 years old state your name and where you're from?
That's what I was saying. And then he had the dude do that too. So I'm just like,
The guy I understand because nobody knows who he is unless you follow tabloids. But Cher, man, come on now.
He was trying to cover up not knowing who she is. That's how I took it. Like, wait, let me see. I'm about to find this.
Where you from?
Yeah, he pretty much. Yeah, so I'm like, who need an introduction to Cher?
No, that's
and
too funny,
yeah, and obviously I ain't grow up on Cher, but I know who she is. Like, damn.
Oh man.
Oh no, I got it right here. I'm like, man, what is this dude doing?
Hey, how you doing today?
I'm good. You're good.
Pretty good. What's your name and where you from?
I'm Cher.
I'm Alexander. LA is in the house. Stop playing with her. Woo, yeah.
Also Oakland.
Okay, Oakland. Yeah. Describe the fit.
Pardon?
Describe your outfit. Okay.
How you gonna pull up on it? Come on, man.
The ring. See the ring? Okay. Necklace. Okay. You see everything. See the shoes, everything. Yeah. You see, hey,
oh yeah, ball mine. You got
everything. Everything. My boy dripped out. Yeah.
Painted nails too.
Shit. Did you give anybody a style tip? What would it be?
Oh, if you're afraid to do it, do it.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Bar.
What's your favorite meal?
Tacos.
Ooh, okay. And what's your zodiac sign?
Taurus.
Big Taurus. You look amazing. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
This motherfucker had no idea who she was, man.
Obviously, he didn't, man. That was just an embarrassing interview overall.
Oh my!
How you gonna pull up on a 77-year-old musician and be like, describe your fit? You think she talk like this, man?
When was the last time somebody asked Cher, what's your favorite meal?
Some basic ass question. You could tell she was like, "What the fuck is going on, man?
Yeah,
who is this dude?"
What was the last time somebody asked, "What was your name?" When do you think the last time she actually said, "I'm Cher"?
I have no idea, man. The only thing I can think of that's comparable is when Nardwuar does an interview with people, and he always asks them to say what their name is. Like he's the only guy that can get away with that. But anybody else, especially this dude, who, like you said, had no idea who she was. And even when he heard the name Cher, it seemed like he knew of the name, but he didn't know who the fuck.
He's this motherfucker. Like, I don't know who she is. So let me see what you're working with the outfit.
Yeah, describe your fit. Excuse me. Come on, man. And her boyfriend's trying to like, okay, let me handle this Negro for you. I'm sorry. You got to be subjected to this. By the way, I didn't want to point it out, but that dude kind of looks a little zesty, man.
Yeah,
he got the painted nails and the painted. His hair is dyed blonde.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. Maybe it's a reverse beard for Cher. I don't know what's going on, but hey, if he getting the money, I ain't mad. Drunk said, "Oh, my bad. Not gonna lie, I'll bust Cher down if I get to quit my job to be later." Hey, I wanted to mention she did not look bad in that video. By the way, she didn't look 77 years old. I know she's had plastic surgery, but still,
yeah, she sounded a little older, to be honest. Like, kind of slow talking, but yeah, man, she look at least about 50. She looked like the girl from Sex in the City.
Yeah,
Sarah Jessica Parker. She kind of looked like Sarah Jessica Parker a little bit.
Yeah. And I kind of wonder, because Junk brought that up too. I wonder if there might have been a part of her that actually liked the fact that somebody didn't instantly recognize her and go crazy. But then again, that's probably a little sad too, because that just lets you know that the younger generation don't know who she is.
Yeah, he could at least ask some better questions, man.
Yeah.
You could tell he was just winging it. He probably like, I don't know who this is. State your name and where you from. She said, Cher.
State your name, player, like a Swiss Beats on a World War III.
Oh,
State
yeah.
your name, player, Scarface.
Where you from?
Where you repping? Where you from? H-Town. You gonna hold it down?
Hey, that's a cringe. I used to love that song too.
Me too. I can't go back to it, man. Wah, wah, wah. That beat is awful. Wah, wah, wah. Wah, wah, wah. Wah, wah, wah. Oh my God.
Hey, where you from? What's your name? Snoop D-O-double-G. Where you from? West Coast. You gonna hold it down?
Swiss Beats needs to be arrested for crimes against rap, man. What an awful era.
I ain't gonna let you do that. I like Swiss Beats, man.
No, man. Everything outside of like he got a couple songs with DMX and a few songs with Jay, maybe, and then everything else is just awful, man. Even that beat, like I said, I like that song when it first came out. I thought it was okay, but now listening back, I'm like, this beat is ass, man. It sounds awful. Like anybody could have made this, man. That's a crazy thing. A lot of his beats sound like anybody with the keyboard could have just mashed that shit out. Oh man. Drunk said Madonna punched her laptop when Cher got the first old hoe outfit in check. Wait, what? Drunk, are you drunk? I can't read this, man. Madonna punched her laptop when Cher got the first old hoe outfit. Oh, you're saying that Madonna was jealous because Cher didn't, because Madonna didn't get this first. I'm sure she got some little twink boyfriend too somewhere, but yeah. So he said outfit check on Cher is crazy, but she liked it. Yeah, I think she was confused, man. I think she really knew what was going on, and that dude just kind of ran up on her. Yeah, I don't know if she knew exactly what was happening, but Dragon Spitfire on X says Cher could have said I'm Barbara and dude had no clue. Yeah, she should have just lied about who she was, man. That would have been fine. She just said some random name like Susan.
Yeah. He ain't say nothing about her career or hey, what you doing? What you got planned or anything. He went right to the outfit.
Yeah.
Let me see what you're working with.
Yeah, man, I was just embarrassing, dog. Imagine if somebody ran up on like Stevie Wonder. Everybody knows what he is, but who's like a Smokey Robinson? Somebody ran up on Smokey Robinson, had no idea who he was. Hey, player, state your name and where you from.
Smokey Robinson, Detroit.
All right, well, what's your drip looking like, player? What's your fit? Describe your fit. Excuse me. Dog. I don't know. Drunk said, "Gun to my head, I couldn't name a Cher song." Yeah, I really can't either. I'm thinking.
Yeah, no, I'm gone.
John Lopez would say we're awful people for not knowing any Cher songs.
We're not American. We're not American.
He said, Drunk said, of course he's drunk. It's Friday. Come on, bro. Yeah, you living up to your name, man. I got to admit, you living up to your name. I know.
I will say Cher, she's so legendary that we can't even name a song from her, but we know she is. I do remember I always see the video when she used to have her show. Remember she had the show back in the day?
Yeah.
And she had the Jackson 5.
Yeah.
And she started doing the robot, and Mike came out of nowhere sliding and doing the spin and all that shit. I do remember that, but I couldn't name a song.
Oh yeah, Dragon Spitfire said, "Do you believe in love?" Yeah, I remember that one because I was on MTV a lot.
Yeah,
I remember that song. But yeah, I think Cher is one of those people who was more known for stuff outside of music after a while than her music. But yeah, Do You Believe in Love? I forgot about that one, but that song was everywhere for a while.
Yeah.
And Turn Back. Yeah, I forgot Turn Back Time too. See, I know these songs.
Yeah.
If I could turn back time. I didn't know who Sonny Bono was when he died. I remember when the announcement when he died, I was like, who was that? My parents knew, of course, but I had no idea. All right, other things going on this week. Let's talk about Joe Budden's comments on female rappers. I didn't hear this whole conversation. I just know the gist of what he said. But he basically said that female rap is done with. He said Cardi B scared to drop an album, and the wave of these female rappers running the rap game seems to be ending. So let's pull this up. I want to hear exactly what he said because I didn't get to hear the entire conversation or the actual quote itself.
All right. Let's see. Here we go. All right.
Y'all ain't gonna want to hear it from me, but the girl rapper wave is over.
Damn. Come on.
Just telling you what it is. I'm normally a few months ahead with this stuff. Sometimes a few years ahead with this stuff.
When you say over,
Why do you say that?
nigga, you just said it was
the girl rapper wave is finito.
How you just changed? You just said a couple of weeks ago that it was lit.
No, I said the cream rises to the top. So Lotto shall remain.
She will.
Flo Milli shall remain.
Got it.
Rhapsody will always be there, but she wasn't really a part of. But all of that, go find a girl, send her to Columbia, get it done, put her in the studio with fucking Mike Will or any one of them niggas. All of that, planting the girl in the scene, getting the record, and it taking off. That wave is over. I think labels are looking at it like very few of y'all are selling records. It's too much work to get your coin back. We got to go do brand deals all over the world with y'all. Y'all are expensive. Some of y'all are annoying. And none of these records are working. None of these records are working. And let me get to Cardi B. Cardi B is afraid. And I'm tired of just nobody saying it. Cardi B is scared to come out. It don't take this long to come out. They recently just found every year where she plugged that she was coming, dating back to 2019. It's like 6 different slides in different years of you saying, hey, I have something coming. Even this freestyle was previewed a year ago.
For real? Oh, see, I didn't know that.
Yeah, she was on live somewhere and played this shit. This ain't new off the stove. Offset the other day in his story.
Yeah,
I wish my baby would just drop.
I thought
what
that was
are
part
you
of the
afraid
setup.
of? Right? And I'm just thinking about how Cardi B has reacted to tweets that she dislikes, just any comment that she disliked. I think that she's afraid to put a project out because the wave of if you put a project out and it don't do what it's supposed to do, you're donezo. Rates go down, prices go down. Yeah.
All right. Some interesting points. Some things we've talked about before about Cardi B. We've all noticed the fact that she hasn't dropped a follow-up album to her last one, her first one only album so far. She's dropped a lot of Lucy's, some big singles like WAP, however you want to say it, but nothing official, no official projects since her first Invasion of Privacy back, I want to say like 2017. Yeah. So it's been a minute, man. But to the greater point of if the girl rapper wave is over, do you agree with that, Figgy?
I think, and we actually talked about this before, because I mentioned how, if I was a female rapper, I wouldn't drop an album. I just keep dropping singles and, keep moving like that, because we see every time a female drop an album and people laugh at the album sales. Like, oh, she only sold 7,000 copies the first week and all this other stuff. And I think he have a point with that. Now, do I think it's over for their careers or anything like that? I think it's at the highest it been because like the brand deals, when you look at people like Sweetie, like how she still getting McDonald's deals and all this other stuff. I think they're doing more stuff like that outside of the music But to me, when it comes to the music, I think they could drop songs and stuff like that. But it's only a few people that can actually drop a album, man. I'm looking at people like Glorilla. I like Glorilla a lot. Where the hell is her album at, man? she been out probably since 2020. She been out for a little bit now. Where the hell is her album? She keep dropping singles, man. And I think when he brung up Cardi B, scared to drop, and that very last part, he said, if it don't do good, the price go down. I think that's why somebody like Glorilla ain't dropping nothing, man, because it's not gonna be a good look if she drop her debut album and it sells 7,000 copies, and I think they know that. So what they're gonna do is just single you to death. They're gonna keep dropping songs here, drop a freestyle there, and have her run around doing all this stuff like she's doing it big. I think that's where it's at right now. I think that's what he meant when he said that whole wave is dead, because Cardi B, I think that's 101 that dropped the album, and I'm using this loosely, but it was a classic type of album for her. Nicki Minaj, ain't nobody Nicki Minaj. She could drop and do numbers. Meg, and I'm using this loosely, but that's one of the ones that at least could get to 25 to 50K first week, and she got a big machine behind her. So just imagine all the the lower tier female rappers like the Young Miamis and City Girls and stuff like that. Whenever they drop it, the numbers don't look that good, man. And people like us, we get on here and talk about it. So I think it's to me, I think it's dead as far as like musically, like dropping albums. But I also think it's kind of smart for them not to drop an album, man. I would not let Glorilla drop an album right now, because right now she still got steam. She's still throwing out singles and being on social media, all this other stuff, being at games. I think if she drop an album and she sell 5,000 copies the first week, I think that's it, man. I think that'd be it for her. So I think right now that wave is kind of done, but I think they moving in different directions as far as like branding and stuff like that.
Yeah. I think it's premature to say the wave is over, because we're just a few months removed from having Sexy Red be like the hottest name in the industry. So I don't think the wave is over. But I do think, as far as dropping projects, it does seem like there's, I guess it's kind of fear, or just maybe the label doesn't want to invest that much because they know that only the singles are going to pop. So why not just single them to death? I also think a lot of the fans of their music don't listen to full albums. That's the thing, man. They listen to singles. They got a playlist and they add whatever they like into the playlist onto their whatever playlist. But they're not going to listen to a whole album and keep it on repeat unless you're a stan. And there's only so many of those mentally ill people in general. But I think basically they know that if they put an album out and invest a lot of money into it and promote it, it's not going to get them a return on investment that's going to be worth it. But if you put out a single, put out a video, push the single hard, it gets a bunch of streams, you do some performances, and I think that's more worth it for the label, probably, in general. As far as Cardi B goes, I think she knows that her next album will not do what her first album did. I think we all know that. She had opportunities to drop this next album. She should have did it with WAP. She didn't. And that vote is passed. Every single she's put out since then has been kind of pretty mid, man. Let's be real. WAP was a perfect single because it reached way outside of rap.
Yeah.
They have people on Fox News talking about that song, man. Politicians. I think what's her name? Hillary Clinton said something about it. That was a rare type of rap song where the influence and discussion goes way outside of rap.
Yeah.
That was a perfect time to drop an album if she had one cooked up. but she didn't, and now that boat is kind of gone. And now she's been She even tried to do another single with Megan Thee Stallion. It just didn't do nothing.
Yeah.
So that wave is past now, man. I don't know what she can do. She needs something else if she's gonna drop. She needs some surefire hits, and I don't know if she has any.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, man. Like we said before on this podcast, they don't have to drop an album. Cardi B don't have to drop an album if she don't want to. She'll still make money off of other things, and she's still a big name. But yeah, we all know that she's not going to do the numbers she did the first time around. And that's just how it is.
Yeah, and I expect somebody like a Cardi B to not drop another album. Like she dropped her project, her album, it did numbers. Like I get it. Because that's kind of like with Rihanna's last album. Like it was so good that I don't think she's gonna drop another album again. Like I wouldn't try to top that album. But it's just, to me, it kind of worries me a little bit with the newer artists. So somebody that never dropped an album before. So even somebody like Sexy Red, I think Sexy Red is still probably the hottest female artist out right now. And she do got projects, but I'm curious if she gonna drop a big time album coming soon. Or is she just gonna roll around like she been rolling around, tour and perform the stuff she got and keep it moving? Because right now, like I said, if she put an album together, it dropped this year, and it don't do good, I think Joe Budden was right, man. I think the prices do go down, man. I think people look at that, and if you ain't putting up no numbers, why would somebody pay $250K for a feature or something like that? Like, it's not worth that if you ain't even putting up numbers for your own project. So I think, like I said, I think it sounds like you kind of on the same thing too, as far as like the way they release singles and just don't even worry about the album. I mean, if you want to consider that being the female rap wave is dead, if you want to call it that, then I can see that. But I just think the music industry is moving towards that way now, where albums are not even important anymore, man. They just focus on, singles and how you look and brand deals and all that stuff. But the other thing is too, man, I feel like this is not the case for the guys, the rap guys.
Mm-hmm.
Because they still drop albums, and I think Meek Mill dropped the album last week. I ain't listened to it at all, but I think Academics said he sold like 7,000 copies for the first week, and I know that's independent. I think he officially independent, but it seemed like stuff like that. There's no big issue with that. Like it's a bunch of people that still drop albums, and they might not be that good, but it seems like that don't really scare them off for dropping projects. But with the female, it seems like that's kind of like a career ender a little bit, because like Coi Leray, remember, I think she sold like 10,000 copies or something like that her first week, and people literally laughed at that. I'm just like, man, like this is why a lot of females ain't dropping no albums now, man. And I think she put a lot of work into that album too. It just show you that people not really interested in that, I guess. So if he meant it that way, and then also in the video, he was pretty much saying like the whole, girls get their body done and just put a regular person in the studio with the hottest producer. I do think that's kind of over with because you don't really see that as much. It seems like you see more of the I guess I call it organic, the organic come ups, like the Sexy Reds, how a song just go viral and that just take off out of nowhere, or Glorilla with the FNF song just kind of take off out of nowhere. Because they were never the typical girl rappers that was around during that time, because the girl rappers you see always built like Nicki Minaj or former strippers and stuff like that. It seemed like it was this new wave of like slim chicks, and that just seemed like it blew up out of nowhere. So him mentioning the whole go to Columbia, get this done, and all that, seemed like you don't really see it as much now.
Yeah. I think it's kind of cooked in that in that regard, man. In general, the albums. I've had this thought for a minute too. I think albums are dying. Period, man. I think albums are dying because everybody's taking too long to drop in general, except out of like I'm talking about the big names outside of Drake, who releases pretty consistently. The albums are dying, man. People aren't dropping like they used to. Kendrick, J. Cole, these people take multi-year breaks now, man. You know, they don't drop as often. I was looking up because I was curious about some the GOAT rappers we consider. Tupac, in his life, he dropped 6 albums in 5 years. From his start to his death.
Man.
Or 5 albums in 6 years. He had Tupacalypse Now, Strictly for My Niggaz, Me Against the World, the Thug Life album, which I count the Thug Life album as a Tupac album, All Eyes on Me, and that was it. He was dead.
Yeah.
But that's 5 albums in 6 years, man. Now look at somebody like a Kendrick, who's been around since what, like 2009?
Yeah.
Kendrick has dropped 1, 2, 2. Kendrick came out in 2010. He's dropped 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 albums in like 11 years.
Damn.
So I don't know, man. I think albums in general are just taking too long to come out. I don't think labels really perceive them as valuable as they used to be. I think they're more happy with just pushing singles out, and this is the new industry now, man. You know, or they have like albums and projects are somehow differently labeled too. You know, like this is a project, it's not an album. What does that mean? Like Drake got several projects that aren't considered albums, but they sound like albums to me. So I don't really get the difference.
Yeah, that's the same thing with who was the I forgot his name, the rapper from Chicago. God, he had the mixtape coloring book or something.
Chance the Rapper.
Yeah, remember the last album he dropped? Remember he said that was his debut album, and he had all type of other projects before that. And I think his latest project, they called it his debut album. I'm just like, what?
Yeah, and it was his worst one too.
Yeah, they called. Yeah, what was the name of that damn album? But
I forget. I remember the cover was like a blank CD.
The Big Day. It was called The Big Day.
But I Love My Wife album.
Yeah. So before that, I mean, these could have been. I think these are mixtapes, to be honest. But 10-Day Challenge, that was 2012. 2013 was Acid Rap. 2016 was Coloring Book, and I think he won a Grammy for one of these. I think he won a Grammy
Coloring Book. Yeah,
he won a Grammy for that, and that wasn't his debut album. And so he dropped it. Then 2019, mind you, his first project was 2012. 2019, that was his debut album, The Big Day.
So and he fell off so hard he stopped rapping.
Yeah,
he disappeared after that.
Yeah, he had a Christmas album in 2020. And that was it, man.
Yeah, man. It's just I'm wondering if labels just don't see albums as being profitable for release anymore. You know, that's why. And I know people like Lil Uzi Vert have had trouble with trying to release stuff because they want to, and the label says no. It seems like back in the day, people just dropped albums every year. You know, all the big names dropped albums every year, and it was just an event to go get one. Now in streaming, I guess they probably just don't feel like it's worth it. Because number one, clearing all the samples, clearing all the stuff you got to do for the albums now, and the return you get from streaming probably isn't worth it to a lot of labels, especially when you're not Drake and you're not going to get so many millions and millions of streams off that. So,
yeah.
I don't know, man. It's just a different day.
And the other thing I was thinking about too, because we still don't know how much a stream costs.
Yeah.
Because even with physical album sales, you know how much that is. And now, like who the hell came up with how much a stream costs? And
streaming companies.
yeah, and they not worth anything, man. You don't get anything off of these streams. So yeah, you're right. I mean, somebody can sell 7,000 copies and all that stuff, but how do you determine how much is a sale when everybody's streaming it, man?
That's the question they're trying to answer, and nobody really has an answer for it. Basically all we know is that it's not enough. But then again, it's also the issue of, you're only listening to it because it's on your streaming service. Would you actually seek out and buy this song or album if it wasn't free or included in your already paid for package?
Yeah.
It's a difficult discussion, man, in trying to solve this shit, because I don't think you can. The streaming companies won, and it just, unless there's a dispute like there is with TikTok and the UMG, it's just going to keep going like this. Yeah. Dragon Spitfire on X says all these new rappers other than Drake and Nicki seem to have a 36-month shelf life. Yeah, I think so in general. Like, there's only a few names that really, to be honest, that's kind of the way it's always been.
Yeah.
And rap and just pop music, period. There's only a few names that stick around in general. And for example, I was thinking of Ludacris was on some podcast, and he said he came up in the toughest era of rap because he had to.
Oh, Nelly.
Yeah, who did I say?
Ludacris.
I meant Nelly. My bad. I meant Nelly. Nelly said he came up in the toughest era in hip hop.
Yeah.
Play the clip. You already.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that too.
When I put out songs, I had to go against DMX, Eminem, Jay-Z, Eminem, Lil Wayne, 50 Cent, Luda. All of us are fighting for one spot. So from 99 to like 2008, 10, it's the hardest era ever to get records. Units, Pimp Juice and us.
So replay that real quick. Okay, he says DMX.
I had to go against DMX, Eminem, Jay-Z.
Okay, pause it. Okay, of all these people who stuck around for a while, DMX had a run. He didn't have a Jay-Z or Lil Wayne run.
Yeah.
So
he was
out.
Tough. He was still tough during the little run that he did have.
He definitely was one of the bigger rappers. But
that was somebody you couldn't move out the way.
Yeah. Okay, keep playing.
Jay-Z, Eminem, Lil Wayne.
Eminem, Lil Wayne, 50 Cent, Luda.
Okay, pause there too. Okay, 50 Cent and Luda were also people who, I mean, they stuck around and did other things, but as far as being the biggest names in rap, how long were they up there? 50 Cent, I feel, fell off after his second album.
Yeah.
Ludacris had a run for sure. He had some big singles and big albums, but after a while, he faded into irrelevance, music-wise at least. He got into the movies, and that's his career now.
Yeah.
But it's kind of always been like this, man. There are some people who are going to stick around for 5-10 years, and there's some people who are going to kind of disappear after 2 years.
Yeah. The thing with the people Nelly named, though, was it's like they were like, I think everybody had their moment where somebody was number one. And I think they were really fighting the charts during that time. So, if you do look at somebody like a Ludacris, eventually he did fade it off. But it wasn't like it was just some pipsqueak there, like not to worry about. Luda was putting up numbers. All these guys that naming, they were really putting up numbers during that time. And eventually, like, I think the ones that did fade off, I think they faded off because of look who's on this list. Like, you had somebody like a Lil Wayne and Eminem that was in the way. And, fortunately, you can't get past that. And honestly, I think with Jay-Z, I kind of respect Jay-Z a little more, man, because he stuck around, man. because I don't think he always had the #1 album or anything like that. He was always in the mix. He was always right. He stood his ground. I say it like that.
Yeah.
No matter who was there, man, he was right there with Eminem. I mean, he was there with Eminem too, but being there with Nelly, who was pretty much a pop star, he stood his ground, man. Ludacris, he was a rapper, but he kind of went the pop route a little bit too. He stood his ground with all these dudes, man. So
I mean, as far as the King of New York, it was like a 4-way battle between Nas, DMX, Jay-Z, and who else was in there? I wouldn't say Biggie. I guess it would beat them 3 for a minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was tough. I mean, 50 Cent, 50 Cent as well when he came out.
Yeah.
So
not the minute you had people like Ja Rule.
Yeah, Ja Rule too.
Ja Rule.
It was heated competition, man. And
yeah,
I know people got their opinions about Jay-Z, but it's undeniable that he's the one who stayed the longest out of all of them in general. So
yeah, because he didn't I love Jay-Z a lot, but I feel like he didn't have like a song like a Ja Rule type of song that just traveled everywhere, or even 50 Cent, because 50 Cent kind of took some of that Ja Rule sauce. Jay-Z didn't dip off in that. He kind of just stayed solid, man, and stuck around, because a lot of those dudes, even Ludacris, they had them crossover songs. Jay-Z ain't have a crossover song. I think the most crossover song he had was like Hard Knock Life.
Hard Knock Life, maybe
like
years later, Welk of New York, whatever, the Empire State of Mind. That was years later.
But like during that time, during that era, Ludacris was talking about. He ain't really had
Nelly. You see, you did it too. You called him Ludacris.
I'm looking right at him too. But yeah, they ain't had that crossover. Jay-Z ain't had that crossover song like that. I think Hard Knock Life was the only one, and I don't even look at that as a crossover song.
Sidebar, I can't listen to that song no more, man. Really? I think Nipsey just owns that beat, in my opinion, because I can't go back to Hard Knock Life after hearing Hustle and Motivate, man.
Damn.
Hustle and Motivate is just a way better song with that sample. I like the extra bass in it. I like the production is just better. I feel like the rapping is just more relatable. Even though Jay went off on that song too, but officially that has been replaced with Hustle and Motivate for me. I can't go back to Hard Knock Life. Sometimes it comes on shuffle. I'm like, oh, this sounds so corny.
I never go to that song, man. I skip past that song.
Yeah. I don't blame you, man. It's kind of cheesy. Yeah, good bars, good verses, but yeah, it's just kind of cheesy, man. Yeah. Liberty Twitcher on Twitch says Cardi B lost all credibility when she was caught lip syncing at a concert. Well, Liberty Twitcher, I hate to inform you, but nobody cares about that anymore. All right, this is not the Milli Vanilli era where people could get canceled for that. All right, nobody gives a shit about lip syncing anymore. I mean, I do, but I'm an old head who's washed up. We don't care about ghostwriting. We don't care about snitching. We don't care about lip syncing. None of that matters anymore in this new era, man. So she did not get canceled for that. If she get canceled, it's for something else, but it's not for lip syncing. I mean, the fact that her shows are like 45 minutes and she got to take a break in it was already bad enough. But nobody cares about the lip syncing, man. In this era, in this generation of music, nobody cares.
Yeah, you want to hear something funny though? A funny story is back in the day, my sister, she was a big Project Pat fan, and he came to Cleveland for a show. I think it was either him or maybe it was 3 6 Mafia. I think it might have been him, but they were performing, and the song started scratching. It started skipping. Man, people started booing to the point where he actually left the stage because the song was skipping. And that was like a big deal, man. Like she even said she was disappointed because he wasn't singing the song or something.
Oh, so it was a voice track on it. Okay, the vocals were on the song.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess so. So yeah. So mind you, a lot of people rap over their vocals now, But just imagine somebody rapping over the vocals and the song starts skipping. Man, I guess he got so embarrassed he ran off the stage. But that was like a big deal, man. A lot of people were so mad about that. She was debating if she should still be a fan or not. Like, she didn't want to go to another show and anything. So now, like, I don't think people give a damn about that lip syncing and all that stuff, man. But that was the big deal back then.
Yeah, that's tough, man. And also somebody like Project Pat, his flow is so crazy that I almost wouldn't be upset if he was lip syncing it, man, because that's hard to do live. You know, some people like Bone Thug can actually do that flow live. I don't know how they do it, but they can do it. But and Gunna can do his flow live as well. But Project Pat, like, that flow is just crazy. You know, every song too, he's rapping super fast, man. So I can't be too upset, but it would be disappointing if you paid money for that.
And this was back in I want to say the 2000s, early 2000s. So it probably wasn't no arena. It's probably like a club or something like that. So I'm sure they probably just gave the DJ a CD and he played the CD or something like that, and it started skipping. So back then we were looking at it like, oh man, he a phony and all this other stuff. But now when you think about it, it's like, damn, like, what's wrong with that, man? A lot of people rap over their vocals anyway. As long as they doing a good show, then it's cool. I mean, it wasn't like he was Milli Vanilli, where he really wasn't rapping these songs, and that's not him rapping the song. Like, right now, if that happened today, I wouldn't have a problem with it. Like, I wouldn't care.
Yeah, nobody cares about these things. Personally, if I paid to see a show, I would want to see them perform it live. You know, I don't like going. That's why I always preview some of these new rappers when they got the vocal check. I'm like, okay, I'm never going to see this person live because I'm not going to pay for that shit, man. But I would rather see them do the song live and actually rap it. But some kids don't care, man. A lot of kids, this is what I learned about this new generation. They're only about the vibes. They don't care about things like integrity or things that we thought that was important in rap. They only care about if the environment's cool, if the music's loud. Like, that's what they go to the show for, the atmosphere. They don't go to see their favorite rapper just rap.
Yeah.
They go there to be a part of the audience experience. So in that case, it really don't matter if they just lip sync or even show up. You know, they might start doing rap shows via Zoom at some point.
Yeah.
Some damn 3D holograms of rappers that are still alive.
Yeah. And the one thing I hate too is the rappers that just jump on stage and try to make us sing it.
Yeah.
Come on, y'all know the words. It's like, nah, man. Like, because I'm not the type of person that said, look, salute to all the fans out there, but I'm not that fan that be in the front trying to sing every song and all that stuff, man. I usually chill in the back. I kind of vibe a little bit, nod my head, but I'm not out there. Like, when you say, oh, make some noise, I'm not doing all that, man.
Yeah,
I'm definitely ain't about to sing I'm definitely not about to sing your song. I just like to watch the performance, man.
Yeah, and some people just, that's all they do. Like, I was looking at XXXTentacion shows back in the day, and that's all he did. He didn't really rap or do anything. He just pointed the mic to the crowd and had them rap the entire songs on his set list, man. I'm like, I'll be pissed if I paid for this, but then again, the kids were having fun, man, so I can't judge it.
No,
but yeah, he did not rap. I think he might have said a couple bars at some points, and then he just held the mic out to the audience the entire time, man. I'm like, dog, this is terrible, man. But I'm old head. I don't know. The kids don't care about this shit, man, in general.
Yeah.
Other things going on this week. Did you see the announcement of Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul set for July 20th on Netflix?
Yes, I seen that.
Jake Paul, who has made a career out of fighting a bunch of non-boxers, is going to go against what many consider one of the greatest heavyweights of all time, Mike Tyson. Who is, how old is Mike Tyson now? Mike Tyson, I know he's in his 50s.
57, I want to say.
Mike Tyson is 57 years old, and Jake Paul is 27. So a 30-year difference.
I didn't know he was that young. Damn.
Yeah, man. He's very young. So a 30-year difference boxing match on Netflix. Figgy, are you gonna watch it?
Sure, why not, man? It's on Netflix. Look, honestly, I probably, if it wasn't on Netflix, I probably would have went out my way to bootleg it to check it out. I wouldn't pay for it, but yeah, I think I will watch it, man, because this is probably the biggest fight out of Jake Paul's career, man, because everybody is talking about this fight. And you know, I look at you as the boxing expert, and you know, you kind of you brung up a couple Jake Paul fights where you told me it was happening. And this one, you didn't even like this. This happened before the podcast and all that stuff, or last week. But yeah, everybody was talking about it, man. I would have probably found out from you, but I already knew about it. It's just like, damn, we talked about it on the show and everything. So I'm gonna check it out, man. I'm gonna check it out. I ain't gonna have no watch party or nothing, but I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, man, I'll probably still find a way to bootleg it, even though it's on Netflix, because I don't even have Netflix anymore. But man, personally, look, Black people who are excited about this are gonna have to figure out what they're gonna do when Mike Tyson loses.
Yeah,
because this is I don't care how great you were when you were in your 20s. This is a almost 60-year-old man going against a 27-year-old man who, despite what you want to say, has been training like a pro for the last few years.
Yeah.
So
this ain't no YouTuber, man. He is a YouTuber, but this ain't no regular old YouTuber trying to get in the ring.
No, he's a legit amateur boxer at this point, man.
Yeah.
And y'all really need to think about if you want to see one of your legends get beat and look old and flabby and sick like Larry Holmes, Tupac would say, and in the ring like this, man. I see a lot of people just confident that Mike Tyson's going to knock out Jake Paul. He's 57 years old, man. Okay, this is not 21-year-old Mike Tyson, all right?
Think about the old days.
Old days. And even in his prime, Mike Tyson got knocked out by Buster Douglas, man. Okay, and that was prime Mike Tyson. So he's not above taking L's to bums. Yeah. It's happened before. So I'm somebody who remembers the end of Mike Tyson's career in boxing as being completely pathetic, man. He was losing badly. His health was spiraling. I know he's in better health now. He's probably on some kind of HGH and testosterone replacement therapy and all that stuff. I'm sure they're probably not going to drug test for this fight. So he'll look better than normal 57-year-old man would. But I don't want to see this, man. I don't want to see Jake Paul. Y'all gonna have the racists who now just get to be on Twitter and not get banned. Y'all gonna have them doing victory laps. Y'all this gonna be their Juneteenth, man. This gonna be their new national day, the racist holiday, the day that Jake Paul beat Mike Tyson. I don't want to see it, man. I don't want to see it because y'all talking like Mike Tyson really gonna knock out Jake Paul. An old man's an old man.
Yeah.
It's not going to work out like that, man.
Yeah. Do you think this is going to be like a real boxing match, though? Or is this going to be a lot of claws, no knockouts and no this, no that? Is it going to be one of those where everybody eats, everybody just get the money, but let's just do it for Netflix?
I don't know. I would rather it be like a rigged fight where nobody goes super hard and
a Floyd Mayweather fight.
Yeah, I'll be fine with that. and make Jake Paul win off of points. That's fine. Yeah. I don't want to see Mike Tyson get laid out by Jake Paul, man. The image of that is just horrifying.
Oh man.
So
who was the one dude he lost to, Mike Tyson? It was some dude. It was some black dude, I want to say. I think it was. He had some generic ass name, Tim Jackson or some shit.
What, recently?
No, I think it was towards the end of his career, man.
I gotta look, man.
Or I might be thinking about somebody else. I
gotta look. I know the Buster Douglas was the most famous one, but that happened in the 80s, but way back in the day. But Dragon Spitfire on X said black people already took an L on a dunk contest. No more. Yeah, we done lost the dunk contest now. Okay.
Yeah, no, that's true.
We're damn near losing the NBA. Period.
Yeah,
these Euros are coming in and doing it better. All right. So I don't want to see Jake Paul fight and beat Mike Tyson, man. All right. All y'all acting like, oh, Jake Paul's in trouble now. He's fighting a real boxer. He's almost 60 years old, man. All right. Yeah. I don't want to see it.
Yeah. The last person Mike Tyson lost to, I want to say, was Kevin McBride.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. I think that guy was white.
Yeah, he was white.
Yeah, I remember that. That was a pathetic fight, man.
Yeah.
He really just he retired in the ring after that.
Yeah, I ain't got it no more.
Yeah, that really was how he was acting after the fight, man. But so I don't want to see it, man. I know people are. I'll probably watch it just to see, because everybody's gonna be watching it and talking about it. But y'all who are talking all this big shit about how Jake Paul is gonna get beat, y'all need to think maybe just take that day off of social media, because it's not gonna go down like that.
Yeah, and see, the other thing is everybody keep looking at that video of him sparring in the ring. It's like, wow, look at Mike Tyson. He's 57. That ain't how a boxing match gonna go, man.
Any boxer could do that for 20 seconds, man. All right.
Yeah. I'm talking about like actual skill. Like, it's not just going in the ring throwing punches. You trying to, duck and dodge, and you move your legs and all this other stuff. Be strategic.
Bob and weave.
Yeah. So it's like, man, like, can you do that for? I don't know how many rounds they're gonna go. Maybe 6 or something like that, 3 or 6. But like, no, that's different, man. Otherwise, you'll have more 60-year-old boxers in the ring like that.
Yeah,
it's that easy.
We need to get our boy Mark Nash to talk about this, man. He said we didn't promote his podcast enough. I actually subscribed and I looked at his podcast now, man. It's really good. He's a boxing and fighting expert. We got to ask him what he thinks about this matchup, man. I'm sure he agrees it's a joke, but
yeah, we got to get him on and talk about
he might have dipped out on us, man. I don't know, because I actually enjoyed his channel, man. I enjoyed his podcast, and I like the work he's doing. But we had to make a more sincere effort to get him on, I guess.
It's us. Yeah, we be
bad. Our bad, man. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
But
real quick, that's all you had with that?
Yeah.
Okay, real quick. Speaking of boxing, let's go to WWE. I don't know if you've seen The Rock's new intro.
Yeah.
People was talking about it. So I never heard it. But we got the internet going crazy right now. But I'm gonna go to it. We're gonna get our real reaction to this.
Oh, this is a new intro. Oh yeah, SmackDown was tonight. Did this happen tonight?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, talking about it now. There you go. Oh, I guess this is a regular intro.
Yeah, wait. The effects are different. The music is the same, but all that lightning and the bull in the background, that's kind of fire. That's kind of fire. Dog, I have to admit, The Rock got me back into watching some WWE.
Did he?
He did. He did, man. I hate to admit it. Because I've been on a crusade against this man, all right?
Yeah.
But, dog, the promos he's been cutting, the stuff he's been saying has been hilarious, man. I'm back in, dog. I can't help it.
So you want me to spoil something for you, or you gonna watch this afterwards?
You can spoil it. I don't care. What happened?
So apparently he got slapped by Cody Rhodes.
Oh, Cody, he let Cody slap him back? Okay.
Yeah, so here you go, right here.
And right now, your dad, the American dream. One of The Rock's heroes is looking down. Isn't it true that you're the youngest of three? And isn't it true that your sister was a cheerleader for the Dallas Cowboys?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
And isn't it true that your brother is a Hall of Famer, future Hall of Famer? Yeah, and you're 20 years younger than your siblings. Is that right? You know why? Because you were a mistake. Let him go. Let him go.
Uh-oh, Roman like, oh yeah. It's like that, and he's almost dressed the same way as the Migos were in that Joe Budden clip. Wrap it up then. I'm back in. Okay, The Rock had to do that because he had been punking Cody Rhodes. He slapped him. So they had to let him get one back, man. I get it. But nah, I'm back in on dog. I've been watching the clips on YouTube about The Rock and Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman and the Bloodline. I'm back invested, man. I think, especially since they kicked out Vince McMahon, it's been better in general.
Really? Okay.
It's been way better in general. I'm not gonna say it's like the 90s. It's Stone Cold ain't coming through that.
I hope he don't come through that door, man.
Yeah, that would be a crazy surprise if he came at WrestleMania. But I don't think they're gonna go that route.
I think he in rough shape too, man. I think the last time they showed him, he wasn't walking the best.
He was actually okay. He had a match a few years ago against Kevin Owens. It was actually better than I thought it would be. You know, it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't 90s at all. He looked like an old guy, but it didn't look as bad as I thought it was going to be.
I think the last time I actually saw him, or last time he made an appearance, I want to say he wasn't wrestling at all. He just kind of made it, I don't know, some type of Hall of Fame thing, or it was some type of special episode or something, but he was like trying to go all around the ring and get hyped. You could tell he wasn't having that one, man. I was just like, oh man, I remember those days. He used to be drinking all that beer and all that, man. I'm like, this ain't the same guy, but I still appreciate him for the effort.
Yeah, I feel the same way watching The Rock when he actually wrestles. Like, he looks intimidating enough because he's big and swole still. But when he wrestles, you could tell he gets tired after like 2 moves, man. Like the endurance. And The Rock was like the most athletic guy. He was kicking up and doing all kind of athletic stuff. Now he does like a rock bottom and he's out of breath.
Yeah.
So I don't know how he's going to look for a whole main event WrestleMania match. I think he's in a tag match so he can get a rest whenever he can wrestle for like 2 minutes and then tag out and have a rest. But yeah, man, it's going to look rough when he actually wrestles, but he can still talk. You know, I like the fact that he's being a heel, and I'm kind of back in, man. They also got some dope Japanese wrestlers in there now too. I've been watching, and it's just been kind of a better show recently than it had been when Vince McMahon was running things. So I'm kind of back in, man. I gotta admit, I'm kind of back in.
Got me wanting to watch it now, man. I might. The part that take me out of it is whenever I do watch it, I never really know what's going on, or there's no really storylines to it, and I don't know. I guess I just don't be interested, because even back in the day, man, I know I hate to keep bringing up back in the day, but even the smaller wrestlers had storylines where you kind of was interested to see what was going on. I mean, they might show Crash Holly running away from somebody because he's the hardcore champ, and it's that 24/7 rule where you kind of be interested in so many things. But it seemed like every time I watch it, it's like the female stuff going on, and I'm just like, I don't even know who these people are. I don't know who to root for, who is the better wrestler or anything, man. So I don't know. Maybe I need to do a little, just watch a lot of clips and try to get familiar. Because Cody Rhodes, is he good? I'm sure he's good because he's on the front line. But is he like the guy? The guy?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, he's probably the most popular babyface they got in the company right now. I'm not gonna say he's Stone Cold or The Rock. He definitely ain't that. But he's definitely the best, the most popular good guy in the company right now, basically. So, and he can wrestle, man. He can go, and he's somebody who people are invested in because they saw him. He started from the bottom, honestly. He had like a shitty gimmick. He was named, they called him Stardust, and he had to like, you know, Goldust, right?
Yeah.
He's actually Goldust's brother in real life.
I ain't know that. Oh, so that's Dusty Rhodes' son too?
Yeah. Dusty Rhodes had 3 kids. One of them was Dustin, who was Goldust.
Yeah, I remember the Goldust.
Who had to walk around and pretend he was gay for like 20 years, man. And then you had Cody Rhodes, and they tried to do the Goldust thing with him too. Like he had to be Stardust. He had a big old star on his face, and he had like a crappy gimmick he had to work with. Then he left the company, went to AEW, built that up, left there, went back to WWE, and now he's actually he's the guy now.
Yeah.
So he actually had to, he started from the bottom kind of, even though his parents were, you know, his dad was Dusty Rhodes, he had to get it out the mud still. So people respect him for that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I didn't even know that was Dusty Rhodes' son.
Yeah.
Until, after a while, I started hearing people talk about it. I'm like, okay. I'm like, damn, that's crazy. I ain't know that about Goldust though. I ain't know that was Dusty Rhodes' son too.
Yeah, I always wondered why they took a legend's son and like made him do that stuff, man. Because like The Rock is Rocky Johnson's son, who was a pretty he was a known wrestler, but they made The Rock be a superstar from the get-go.
Yeah.
You know, they had him be like a guy who was supposed to be the next guy in the company from the get-go.
Yeah.
And then they took Dusty Rhodes' son and they said, okay, you're gonna be like a gay weird guy. And you're gonna be feeling on yourself and all this stuff. I don't know why he did that to him, man.
Yeah, because when you like, I felt like Dusty Rhodes had enough clout or had enough fame where you could be like, oh, this is his son.
Yeah,
you're gonna be a bad because even Ric Flair's daughter,
Charlotte Flair.
Yeah, I felt like they kind of built her up like that.
No, they definitely did.
So I felt like they could have did that with him or Goldust. That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't get why they did that, man. They tried to do the same thing with Cody Rhodes until he finally said, no, I'm not doing this no more. So, yeah, I don't know why he did. Maybe they didn't like Dusty. Maybe they didn't like him backstage and they said, look, we're going to fuck over his sons.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. But yeah, I'm kind of back in on wrestling now, man.
Yeah. Oh, the highlight of my career, man. I got a picture with Dusty Rhodes.
Oh, shit.
We went to AEW with Sean Pendergast and Landry.
Mm-hmm.
And we went backstage and I met Dusty Rhodes. I don't know if you guys see this.
Damn, when was that?
This was, I can tell you the day right, 2022.
Wait. That couldn't be Dusty Rhodes.
This?
That's Goldust.
Goldust.
That's
okay.
Dustin Rhodes.
Okay, that's what I
said. There's no way that could be good because Dusty Rhodes died in 2015.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I ain't meant Dusty.
Goldust.
Dustin. Yeah, Goldust.
Okay, that's dope, man. That's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah. And him and his brother did a little thing in AEW. They had some beef, a little thing too. So that was cool to see. But yeah, man. I don't know why they did Dustin dirty like that, but
yeah.
I don't know. Other things going on this week, man. You said Drake will be at the rodeo with Bun B. I didn't see this announced. Is that true?
Yeah, that's true. So Bun B actually posted on Instagram the Drake owl, the OVO owl with the UGK symbol on it. So yeah, so everybody.
I wish he didn't announce it. I wish it was a surprise.
I kind of agree with you on that, but I think he announced this because I don't know how good the ticket sales were before this.
Fair enough.
Because Look, man, I think I was talking to somebody about this lineup, and they weren't really happy about this lineup, man, because like before the Drake announcement, you had Nelly, you had Rick Ross, Too Short, E40, Yang Yang Twins, and then they recently announced Eve.
I mean, that
So
sound kind of lit to me, man.
it sound good, but I mean, would you buy a ticket for that? Like, would you blame somebody if they say, I don't know? Or is that like must buy? I feel like the Drake made it must buy tickets.
Oh yeah. Well, of course.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know how the ticket sales did with that before the Drake announcement, but to me, I thought it was gonna be cool. I wanted to see Rick Ross and see how Nelly do and all that. Yang Yang Twins, man, they a little older, man. My wife saw them at a concert, I want to say a couple years ago or last year, I want to say, and they could barely walk. One of them,
yeah, that's like in a wheelchair, man. He's in bad shape.
Yeah, so I don't know how that's gonna go, but yeah, I just don't know if the tickets was just jumping out for that lineup. But with the Drake thing, I think I wouldn't be surprised if it was sold out now, and the tickets skyrocket after that too.
Of course.
So
of course. That's my problem, man, because now you're gonna have a bunch of Drake fans in the audience instead of fans of the actual people who were doing the headlining and things it's supposed to be about. So
yeah, I'm a little bit frustrated too because I was supposed to go, and I was supposed to get tickets from the job, but I haven't heard anything yet. Maybe I might hear Monday, but I felt like if that announcement didn't happen, I probably would have got 4 of these tickets.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're gonna have a whole bunch of people that don't care about the concert at all, but just going because Drake there, and that's trendy.
That's why I wish it was not announced, man.
Yeah, that's the part I get, man. That's the part I kind of wish that it wasn't announced, man.
And also, I'm figuring this is probably gonna be the last one because you can't top Drake at this event now. You done got the biggest rapper out. What if you come out next year? Who are you gonna bring?
Yeah.
So this must be the last year for it, probably. So, I mean, I'm happy that Drake's coming through, but I just don't like that it wasn't announced because the crowd is now ruined. It's soiled with a bunch of new kids who don't know any of this 90s rap.
Yeah. I mean, I was excited to go, but now if I don't get the tickets, I'm not gonna be mad. I'm gonna just be like, whatever, man.
Yeah,
it's all good. So
yeah. What can you do? Drake just gotta put his grubby little hands in everything, man. Come through acting like he owned Houston.
Yeah.
All right. Whatever happened to H-Town Appreciation Week? Remember he was doing that for a while and then just stopped?
I don't remember that. Drake?
Yeah, he did H-Town Appreciation Week a few years in a row where he would come to Houston
I forgot
do a show and do a bunch of little events and shit.
I forgot about that. Yeah, I don't know.
He don't care about Houston no more since all the actions in Atlanta now. He might do an Atlanta Appreciation Week.
Yeah.
Fucking cloud chaser. You asked if I watched the State of the Union last night. I did not, man. Did you?
I watched it a little bit, man. I never did understood those, man. It seemed like it would just seem like a big ass pep rally, man.
It basically is.
Every time he says something, Kamala Harris stand up and just. I'm like, can you let the man talk?
Yeah, in general, I don't want to hear everything in this country is good when you got people still struggling, man. I go to the fucking grocery store and shit still costs twice as much as it did 2 years ago. Motherfucking people getting laid off by tens of thousands all across the tech industries. Like everything is still kind of shitty for regular people. I don't want to hear the president go up there and be like, hey, man, we're doing okay.
Yeah, we're up 85% from last year.
Yeah.
What? Where at? I don't see that.
Yeah, inflation is over. No, where? Inflation's back to pre-COVID. No, what? Where? I mean, chicken is fucking $5 now, man. What are you talking about? So, in general, I just don't like it. Especially like I used to watch it when I was younger and more in the news reporting. Now I'm like, I'll catch some highlights on Twitter, but I'm not gonna watch that whole thing, man.
Yeah, same here. I just turned to it because I seen everybody tweeting about it. And I'm just like, man, why are y'all so mad? I just seen both sides just arguing with each other. I'm just like, man, I'm definitely not into this.
Yeah. The funniest part is whenever it's a Democrat president, the Republican people sitting behind them have to be mad in the background for the entire time. They can't clap. They can't smile. They got to be stone faced, mean mugging the entire hour and a half or however long it is, man. And then if it's Republican president, the Democrats got to do the same thing. No clapping, no smiling, mean mug.
It's pathetic, man.
It really is, man. But the country we got, man, we're going to have a damn rematch between Trump and Biden at this rate.
Yeah.
It's pretty much locked in at this point. So,
yeah. Who would you, not to get all political, but who would you like to see win on this one?
Man, I don't care. Honestly, like people act like the world's going to end if Trump wins, but we saw what the Trump presidency looked like, and it wasn't the end of the world, even though everybody acts like it was. The Biden presidency, we've seen that too. I'm just not convinced that life will be better for anybody on the regular side of the, regular people's life ain't going to improve or decrease no matter who the president is at this point, man.
Yeah. I can like a dark side of me kind of want to be messy and see what would happen if Trump win again.
Low key, me too, man.
Got to be messy, like not even talking political stuff, but I just want to see a different twist.
I don't see him back on Twitter. I'm not gonna lie. He's not on Twitter no more, but he's on like a Rumble or whatever the fuck. But I want to see the tweets again. The videos are still funny, but yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah, just being messy. I kind of want to see it just flip flop because I never seen that before in my life where, I think honestly, Trump was the first person I seen that only served one term.
No, Nixon did too, didn't he?
In my lifetime.
Oh yeah.
Because I think I grew up with Daddy Bush. I was too young to know about that, but Clinton, it was Clinton 2 terms, Bush 2 terms, Obama 2 terms. So this Trump was the first one that was out after one term. And then I kind of want to see it get a little messy a little bit, but that's just me being selfish a little bit. Just being messy.
I want to say the Daddy Bush only served one term too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Then Clinton, okay, he was 1989 and 93. Then Clinton won.
Yeah.
So he was only one term, but yeah, the rest have been 2 terms. So yeah, I've never seen anybody win, then lose, then get accused of treason, then have to go to court, and then get arrested and have a mugshot taken, and then come back and win.
Dude, we at a point where I'm like, I kind of want to see it happen. I just kind of want to. At least I can tell my grandkids, like, man, I just seen it all.
Wildest time to be alive.
We had a celebrity become president.
A celebrity criminal who got arrested for
won the election again. I got like this. Like I said, this ain't none political. Like I don't care about all that. I don't care about none of them. But I kind of just want to see it happen, just for shits and giggles.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Democrats really needed somebody stronger than Biden, I feel, because I just don't have faith in him living long enough to see the end of this.
No, that's a dead man walking, man.
Basically. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see. It's going to be a rough November, no matter what side of the political spectrum you're on. But at least the debate should be funny. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. Should be some memes coming out. So kind of looking forward to that at least. Is that about it? I think. Oh yeah, we have to react to. There is a trailer for a documentary on Black Twitter. Yes, Hulu is going to make is going to air a Black Twitter documentary. And I have not seen this whole thing. Figgy ain't seen it either. So let's react because I expect it's going to be as bad as I think it's going to be. All right. But let's see.
You know your Black way. Thanksgiving clap. Black girls on magic.
Meet me in Temecula.
Hashtag Dem Thrones.
People were like, where is Black Twitter?
White folks talk about Black Twitter like it's Wakanda.
Wanna get down?
Let's go.
Okay, that was very short. It was like a teaser trailer.
Yeah, that ain't really give us nothing. I'm not sold on it.
I already know because there's really different sides of Black Twitter, what people consider. You know, there's the blue check, like all the topics you heard or like blue check type topics, man. Okay, the Jamel Hills of the world. That's like one side of Black Twitter.
Yeah.
And the other side of Black Twitter is like, damn, Martin Luther King fucked shit up for us because we had our own bathrooms in schools. Like, that's the other side. They said Black people, we had our own movie theaters and restaurants, and he ruined it.
Oh my God, man.
That's like the other side of Black Twitter, and I'm sure that's not going to be in this documentary.
that's the side you can't like those tweets, man. You get in trouble.
You got to have a burner if you're a professional person. If you like those tweets, because they will.
Martin Luther King messed it up for all of us.
Oh man, but see, there's different sides, and I'm sure they're going to be covering like the safe side of
because looking at the preview is like, you know, you're Black when that was like back in 2009.
Yeah,
that was like 2009 where we used to call these hashtags trending topics. So you would be like, oh, Black people always hashtag Black people always do this or whatever. So.
Yeah, or the I sure hate when it's a 10-minute wait on hot and spicy, you know, at Popeye. Some goofy shit like that is going to be what they're going to be focusing on, man. It's not going to be like the real Black Twitter that we enjoy.
Yeah,
but,
where they're at the dark and all that stuff.
Yeah, it ain't going to be no ass Wednesdays or titty Tuesdays on.
They're going to be focused on Man Crush Monday and Tuesday and all that.
Crush, yeah. It's gonna be corny. I already know. Like, have you noticed everything has to have a documentary all of a sudden? Like things that happened a year ago have to have a documentary now.
It was something that happened recently that was a documentary. I forgot what it was. I know I'm thinking about the Tory Lanez situation, but it was something else that happened like a year ago, and it was like a documentary on it already.
There were like 2 documentaries on Fyre Fest. And I feel like that just happened a couple years ago, man. Like, do we really need a documentary on some of these things that like just happened and weren't that big of a deal, honestly?
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Dragon Spitfire on X said, will the doc include colonizer talk? Oh, yeah, it definitely will. It definitely will. Like, it's going to include all the corny stuff that we block people for or make fun of for Jamel Hill for tweeting. It's gonna be it's gonna be really cheesy, man. It's probably gonna be D-Ray in the documentary too. A bunch of people just gonna, I don't know, man. I know it's gonna be cringeworthy.
Yeah. I'm surprised they made this up.
I'm not. But yeah, it's always the people who I don't want to say like they not Black, because I hate when people say that, but it's like people who found their Blackness late in life and become militant like in college. It's always these types of people that are in these documentaries, man. And that's what annoys me. But, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Not going to hate on the hustle.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna mess around. I'll probably watch it just because of the podcast.
We gotta watch it for content, man. We gotta watch the Black Twitter. I think when does it come out?
May, I want to say May something. Hold on.
Okay, we got a couple months to prepare ourselves mentally, but we should watch for the podcast. We should watch for content.
Yeah, May 9th. It come out May 9th on Hulu.
We watched the Above the Rim remake for the podcast, so we could stomach.
Oh, you mean White Man Can't Jump?
Oh, White Man Can't Jump. Why Above the Rim? White Man Can't Jump remake. We can watch the Black Twitter documentary. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Anything else happening? Anything else going on that we got to react to, man? I think that might be about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably about it, man. I just see a bunch of Dragon Ball stuff on my damn timeline. I gotta go to the damn phone. And I get he died and it's sad, but y'all gotta, I don't know, man.
Yeah, all I see is Bun B, Jalen Green, Peter Griffin, Stephen A.
Oh, yeah, shout out to the Cougs. They won the Big 12 championship, or the so congrats to them. I mean, I don't care until the tournament at this point, but
I don't mean a damn thing if they get knocked out of the Sweet 16.
Yeah, exactly.
Back around.
Yeah, this is like the Texans winning the division next year. I don't care anymore, man. I want to see playoff progress.
Yeah, get to that AFC championship at least.
Yes. Shout out to everybody who watched, man. I think that might be about it. We should probably wrap up the podcast now.
Yeah.
Shout out to everybody who joined us, man. I got to shout out to my mom as well. My mom has been texting me during the podcast, and she said my nephews and her are watching on the TV. So what's up? She been talking about, no, she was texting me, but I couldn't read it because we're on the podcast, of course. But shout out to my mom, man. Shout out to my nephews. They watching still.
You want to hear something funny? Last week, my wife and her, so she have a cousin that was in town. She came from Columbus, and I guess they had dinner at my house, and they had me up on the TV. I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that, man. I know some of y'all probably watching on the TV too. It's better than just watching on the phone. But
I used to think it was weird to watch YouTube videos on the big screen, but now I've been doing it lately, and it's actually it's actually cool to do, man. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos on my regular ass TV, and it feels better than watching on a little laptop or computer monitor.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think so too, but it just felt weird. I'm like, damn, so y'all sitting there eating dinner,
right?
On the table, watching our ratchet asses.
Yeah, because like a lot of the way we talk is probably we don't really think about people watching us, man. You know, so
yeah, because like right now we got 118 people watching.
Damn.
So like right now it's just me looking at you talking.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm like, damn, somebody probably on the couch chilling watching this. Like, man.
Yeah, I don't even think about family. See, I can't think about these things. I can't think about people who work with me, people who I got to block these things out of my mind because I won't be able to say what I really feel. So I have to act like it's just me and you, Figgy. We just talking like we on Zoom or something, man.
Yeah, we got to change this eventually. We're going to have to do a live show one day, man. We got to at least once. I ain't saying we got to go on tour or nothing, but at least one good time we got to do a live show somewhere.
We'll make something work, man.
Right, everybody know.
Yeah, it would trip me out, man. I don't know how honest I could be if I see like a guy and his wife and all this stuff. I gotta be like,
They're talking about black folks, black Twitter. We got a couple white guys in there.
Yeah.
Try not to say the N-word. Had to dial it back a little bit.
Yeah. No, we would have to be the I don't know how Joe Budden does it. He went on a little podcast tour and he was just as unfiltered as he always is, but I don't know. That would make me nervous, man. I'm like,
I'm actually like, it's actually impressive how comfortable he is, especially with him working with a lot of white people and stuff like that. Like, I be trying to be PC, I be trying not to use the N-word and all this other stuff, but he just be letting it fly. Where I'm like, man, like salute to you, but I be a little embarrassed trying to using those type of words around certain people. I
think that's also like the New York rapper type of mentality, man. They just don't look at Cameron and Mace, you know, like they dressed in suits and still talk like they on the block. You know, I don't think they can really censor that, man. That's just how they are.
Yeah, that's that East Coast type stuff.
Yeah.
And plus all of like, and that's a whole nother story. That like the Hispanics and all that stuff, who get to use it and all this other stuff. And honestly, I think they part of the problem because they had people like Fat Joe.
Yeah, they let that shit fly, man. Now we got to deal with the people over in Texas saying it all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. But yeah, shout out to everybody who came through on the podcast and chatted with us, man. Dragon Spitfire, aka HRW on Twitch, Liberty Twitcher, Drunk, of course, Tony Scott on Facebook, and everybody who's just kicking back and just watching and enjoying the vibes, man. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. And until next time,
peace.